I'm talking about. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Arvanauts, to day 55 of Adventures in Middle-earth, Wilderland Adventures, sponsored as always by Cubicle 7. Welcome, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well and is looking forward to an awesome session today as we have a full crew. That's right. We have a full crew. It's happening. It's here. It exists. Everybody is here, and I am excited for it, and I hope you folks are as well as we continue on with our amazing Wilderland Adventures adventure with all of you. Before we get to that, just a couple of reminders about things to support the stream. If you haven't done so already, please follow the channel. Please check out the YouTube with exclamation point ArvTube. Please check out the Twitter with exclamation point ArvTweets. Please retweet the stream. Exactly, the full crew as it was foretold. Please retweet the stream and please go do that. I need to figure out how to get the automatic tweet function working again, but in the meantime, if you can just go to exclamation point ArvTweets and then retweet that, I would appreciate it as we try to broaden out beyond just the Twitch audience, but get other people in here as well. Exclamation point ArvTweets for that, and exclamation point ArvCord is the Discord channel where you can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. All of that, of course, can be found on arvineleron.com, which is the major website for this channel. Then we have the financial ways to support us, which definitely makes a big difference. If you haven't done so already, please consider supporting us on the shop, exclamation point ArvShop. And let me remind everybody that there is Adventures in Middle-earth related stuff because of Terry Toon's illustrations. She illustrated each of the characters. So we have those like shirts and hats and all those kinds of things. And I think it's awesome. And I think that you should consider, getting them because it supports us. And I think it looks really cool and all that. That's the first thing. The second thing, of course, is the Patreon, exclamation point ArvTreon, which is currently sitting at 302. Again, as a reminder, I usually get about, much less than that, like 160, 165 of that. So any support that people can give on that Patreon would help. I would really love to get that number higher so that we can do other things for the channel that I can't do unless I can financially support it. So please consider supporting us over there. Cool stuff for you and cool stuff for the channel. And last but certainly not least, of course, the sub button. We are currently sitting at about 45 subs, I believe, or 46. I saw, by the way, that Animus Maelstrom subscribed, so thank you again for the resub, Animus. Welcome to the 13-month club. It's great to have you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And that is, again, the sub button really does make a difference as well. You can use those awesome sub emotes, that sub badge, and so on as well. Now, schedule-wise, we've got Adventures of Middle-earth Wilderland Adventures right now. At 4 p.m., I will be over at GOG for my usual Pen and Pixel show. I will be starting a new game for me called Return of the Obra Dinn, which is going to be great. I'm actually really excited to try that game. And then I will be back to you again on Friday with Esper Genesis, and Saturday with some Neverwinter Nights, Tyrants of the Moonsea. There is a chance that we might be doing a stream on Thanksgiving night as well. I don't yet know about that for sure, though. So, stay posted. We'll see about that. And then I'll be doing the December schedule over the weekend, and we'll be moving into the last month of the year with a very busy and exciting schedule to close out 2019. Last thing that I want to mention is just one big announcement, which is I have a big announcement coming up a week from this Friday. So this coming Friday, a week from then, December 6th, I have a big announcement, which you will not want to miss. So you'll want to be here for that and check that out. And so, yes, that'll be Friday night, and I'm announcing the announcement. I've already announced the announcement, but I'm re-announcing the announcement. So you'll want to be there so that you do not miss the actual big announcement that will have effects on the channel as well as my own, writing career and stuff like that. So I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be great. So I will let you folks know more details about it, but that is coming up Friday, December 6th. So please mark your calendars. Now it is my great pleasure to unmute myself so that the folks know that we're ready to go, and then I'm going to unmute them because it is my great pleasure to welcome you all back to the full crew. That's right, the full crew. They are all here. It's all true. They are all living, existing with coffee and or tea and or unicorn onesies, and they've got everything going on, and we are ready to go for what is going to be a very interesting session, as we will see when we catch everyone up. So it's my great pleasure to welcome the four players back to Middle-earth, and I will start with the gentleman right below me who is currently sipping, I think, cranberry.
Tea.
What it is tea? Okay.
Yeah,
so what kind of tea?
My blue mug is always tea.
Okay.
It's just Tetley's British blend.
Tetley's British blend of tea, nice. And of course that is from Mr. Trendane Sparks. Trend, right. Always a pleasure. How are you? And life in the universe, and who are you playing?
Let's see. Now, what you were talking about before was this.
Ah, yes. Because you should have seen his reaction. Like Tren this happens a lot with Tren. He just did something that we're like, what are you doing? And then,
We can show them right now.
All right,
it's not that difficult. This is for those who are uninitiated. This is pure cranberry juice, not cranberry juice cocktail, not cranberry juice from concentrate. This is just cranberry juice. And is even thinking about drinking it, I'm already starting to clench. It's a little bit tart. So if you see me do this, you'll know why.
I felt that one.
Hang on. I don't want to start pouring slobber out the sides of my mouth. Okay, yeah.
Is this a medicinal situation? Because usually that's the only reason people drink cranberry juice. Okay.
Well, I also like it, but in this case, it is medicinal, yes.
Oh, yeah, we can definitely tell that you like it. Your face is full of pleasure.
Well, this is like people who have spicy food. They're like, oh, it's great. Why is that great?
It's a pangalactic gargle blaster.
Your body disagrees with you.
But yes, I am Trent Sparks, a professional voice actor person. Doesn't do much voice acting anymore, it seems. But anyway, and I am playing Tonnebear the Hearthminder, who is not minding a hearth, apparently, judging by the screen. Right there, I'm minding a bridge.
Minding a bridge.
Minding a bridge.
Yes.
Mind your own
what's
bridgeness.
happening. Right. I know something about Aragorn down there. I mean, excuse me, Robar getting, what did you say? It wasn't worm-tongued. It was
Stormcrowed. I got
Stormcrowed. That's what it was.
He dropped the S-bomb on me.
You've been Stormcrowed.
Yes. That thing. So that's the person that I'm playing today. If I can remember how to do that, we'll see.
It will be interesting. I look
Tongues
forward.
of many people. That's his ability. That's what it's called. So I've been trying to remember that for like the last 15 minutes. Tongues of many people. That's what it is.
Yes, and we will see. He's about to confront many people, although I don't know whether he'll be using speech against them as much as other things. But we will see how that all goes down in a minute. I will during my recap, which is a doozy. It's going to be fun to see how that goes. Moving right on down the line, of course, it is our great pleasure. Welcome Will Jones back to the fold as well. Of course, Will was with us last time, kind of managing the managing things, the store along with Inga. But Will is back with us again, and supposedly it is. Now, he claims this is true. I find it hard to believe because right now Will's in the southern U.S. and he claims at the moment that it's cold, which I'm kind of not. I don't know, man. Like, I'm in the northeastern U.S.
It could be like 27 degrees there right now.
Celsius. I mean, like, that's the problem, right?
It's 17. Right now, it's 63, but it gets down to 35, apparently.
Oh, boy.
It's pretty chilly, eh?
Shiver.
Yeah, no, I'm doing good. It is a little chilly. I've also been in Canada for also been in Canada for a while, and it was chilly there. But
yes, I was gonna say, yeah.
It's the wetness of the air that gets you. So I'm told. Humidity. Yeah. But no, happy to be here. I'm going to be playing the fan movie $50 budget, strangely with a Northern Irish accent, Aragon. Who's
wow,
who's right now he's just watched someone get his head cut off, I think, so he's that's probably going to do something to someone, but no, he's definitely concerned. He tried to warn old Stormcrow McGee, who owns this town, that the orcs were coming. He wanted to treat with them. We were all like, come on, man. And now his son's got his head cut off, so
pretty much. It was not a good sign.
It clears the sinuses, though, so it's.
there was a lot of back and forth between Inga and Robar about, like, we really wish the river were here to handle this part, like convincing him, and it didn't work out. And
I was like, why is the one time I have to make diplomacy checks when the river isn't here?
Yep.
Wait, am I not there in the game?
You are, but
you are, but we didn't want to.
Oh, that's fair.
Didn't want to Jaeger you.
Right,
Aw,
exactly.
thank you.
No one can play the river like a Malcolm, but yes. I it'll be interesting to see how things happen. But you did have a chance to train your young stalwarts, which is a bunch of guys with pitchforks, more or less, Robar. So there is that we've got going on. But I look forward to it. Always a pleasure to have Will with us, and always a pleasure as well to have unicorns with us. And we are joined by our very own German unicorn. I was laughing. That thing behind you that you folks can see behind Terry, the little thing to protect against draft in the window. Her cat before the stream was up there, and she puts her cat up there and turns away promptly as the cat and the thing fall off the windowsill. So you just see the cat, just this flurry of paws, and then just collapsed. It was very
no,
funny.
this is not for draft. This is actually my cat's pillow. I made this for her.
Oh, well
because,
then the cat
the
pillow.
The window bench is made from stone, so it's way cold, and she doesn't like to sit on it.
I
Like
see.
she likes to sit on the pillow. So
Okay, in this case, she liked to
outside.
topple off the pillow. It was very funny.
Yeah, she does that sometimes.
But
I
how
need
are
to,
you, Terry, and who are you
tape
playing?
it down or something. I'm doing good. A little bit tired, I guess, and stuff. But yeah, aside from that, I'm very warm and cozy. In my
I
unicorn
know, I
onesie.
can see.
I just bought this thing last weekend, so it's because it's winter and I tend to freeze a lot. It was I need a onesie, so I found this one, and I was yeah, this works.
Nice.
Would have preferred a hamster one or something, but the thing is I had already found a billion zillion different onesies online, but I wanted to know what the texture is what it feels like, how warm it is, and everything. And you can't see that online, so I needed to buy one from a store.
I was thinking about the coolness of
of a
having a
choice.
store that has unicorn onesies in adult sizes. That's,
Primark.
Primark? What is that?
Primark
Oh,
is
you don't have Primark in the
Yeah.
US. Oh,
No, it's how can I?
Like
It's
a
sort of like Walmart.
TK Maxx or something?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got
no. TK Maxx is outlet stuff, but Primark is
Oh, not where I come from. Interesting.
it?
Well, there's
Okay.
TK and there's a TJ. So there's
Okay, no, we have TK Maxx over here. So.
Wait, there's
There's a
TJ
TK
Maxx.
Maxx.
and there's
don't.
I know
don't
of
get me
TJ
started.
Maxx.
It's a whole thing. Yeah.
You're gonna rabbit hole like nobody's
Yeah.
business.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, it's this large clothing store chain
Gotcha.
that has everything for stupid cheap.
I gotcha.
And, Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay,
So, yeah.
all right. Well, then, I think it's great that you're warm and comfortable, which will be well suited for you to repel an orc invasion. And speaking of that, who are you playing today?
I'm playing Inge, who is not a unicorn. She is a
Yet.
dwarf of the Erebor, and she is a wanderer and a stonemason. And usually, she has a trusty pony sidekick with her, but not today, because she sent that one to safety. Because it's not a battle horse; it's it just carries her tools and stuff, and does emotional support. Emotional support pony.
So now he's garrisoning Erebor by himself. So that's
Yes.
That's
That's what he's.
Emotional support pony, ESP.
outstanding.
Nice.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Well, it's a great pleasure to have Terry with us as always, and I cannot wait to see how Inga handles things today. And last but certainly not least, returning to the fold after lots of busyness with academics and the like is, of course, our good friend Amal Elmatar, who's back. Hello, Amal. How are you, and how's life? And I know you're tired. Are you feeling in a satisfied, tired sort of way, making progress sort of way, or not so much, just tired?
Tired and keeping my head above water sort of way,
Yeah.
I guess. But it's real hard is teaching.
Yep.
And
Can confirm.
but it is also satisfying. But it has just meant I every time I think, could I have fun for 3 hours? I go, no, no, I can't. But no, otherwise life is pretty okay. Weather-wise, it is super weird here. It's 8 degrees Celsius today in Ottawa, where it had previously been winter. And it's just freakishly warm, and it's a little climate change-y in a way that I don't like. Let me see, just remind myself.
How to tell someone is from Canada? 8 degrees Celsius is warm.
It
Freaking
is.
hot, as you say.
It's pretty hot for end of November.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what even is that 8 Celsius in Fahrenheit? It is
Perfectly comfortable is what it is.
46 degrees.
46. Yeah. That's about right. I think what are we right now? 50. Yeah, is what we are. So.
There's no like that we had gotten it became winter very quickly a couple weeks ago, and we had tons of snow, and everything's like, oh, okay, great, it's winter now, it's cold, and now all the snow is gone, and everything is just kind of warm, damp, bleak in a strange Wuthering Heightsy sort of way. It's very British weather, but distrust, dislike. Other than that, though, things are pretty okay. I'm in a very echoey office. This is my office, which is still very bare, but I have brought a whole bunch of stuff to put in it, including, let's see.
Harp? Sounds like a harp.
No, not the harp, but this "Are You Procrastinating" poster, which is actually the sweetest and most affirming thing that actually managed to cut through anxiety for me for some reason. It's by Danielle Corsetto, whose Girls with Slingshots is a gift to the world, and I super love it. So I'm going to have this up here so that also students can see it.
Nice.
And hopefully be warmed in their hearts thereby. And also this awesome fan art that someone at CanCon gave me for Time War, which is like, I forget what it's called. It's like embroidery with wool.
Needle punching?
Needle punching, that's what it is. Yeah. So there is a moment in Time War where one of the characters becomes a 6-legged wolf with double banked eyes.
Yep.
And it's one of my favorite parts in the book. And so Julian Coyne did this amazing thing, and I love it, and I'm going to put it up. So
that's awesome.
There'll be slightly more things.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And who are you playing today, Mel?
I am playing a woodsman of Rosgobel named The River, who, along with her faithful hound of Mirkwood, Stone, is a heraldic warden, who likes to stride the wilderness, doing good things for the small folk.
And that's a good thing, because we're going to need the party's full tactical and otherwise knowledge as we deal with the session today. We are in the home stretch of Wilderland Adventures, and what happened in our last session, which was, as I said, quite something, was that the party, which has been sent by King Bard to try to slow down an oncoming orc invasion, which was set up by the poisoning and in general undercutting of the army of Dale, which had been in Dale, and actually a lot of the dwarves as well, which had been in Dale to celebrate the Battle of the Five Armies, the anniversary of the Battle of the Five Armies, 5-year anniversary, and the 5-year anniversary of the defeat of Smaug. And so as the party was sent off to try to stop this invasion, the party headed south. They ran into a scouting party of some kind, an orc scouting party of one time. They ran into a strange old man, which freaked the river out a little bit in her encounter with him. And as they proceeded down, they finally made it to the Selduin itself, the river and Selduin, which crosses over it. Now, we had Will and Terry here last time, and not Tren and Amal, so I will sort of set things up for them. When the party arrived at this village, what they discovered was that there was this very good, high-quality bridge made of white stone, which goes over to the south, so you can actually see the bridge head south and then further on from there. And the river running, which is not easily fordable, is very fast and rushes quickly past that town. And the bridge itself, the toll gate, the bridge is blocked by this toll gate, a 2-story fortification, which has this great iron portcullis. There were also, so you've got the portcullis in front, and there were also 2 iron doors that were basically rusted open behind the portcullis. And the portcullis is functional, but the doors were not, until until Inga was able to fix it with the help of an assistant, and she was able to fix those doors so that they could now open and close. There were other preparations, which I'll talk about in a minute, and the reason these preparations were being made is that when they arrived, they were confronted by the master of Selduin, an old half-blind man named Eric, son of Erland, whose family had basically been masters of this town for generations, and who was one of these types who didn't want everyone to sort of get in his business. Basically, the way he described it is that he, because they don't have a lot of defenders and they rely basically on the gate and the bridge, he was, number one, not inclined to try to stop invading armies if they weren't interested in attacking his town, but were interested in going past it because he was worried about having his people wiped out. But also had no great love for Bard and for Dale because he believed that King Bard had basically ignored Selduin during the time when it was convenient and now was asking for help at the time when it was required. And so Robar and Inga did their best to try to override this feeling and were unsuccessful in doing so. He essentially said, listen, you can go around and sort of talk to the people and, you know, you can kind of like see what the town has got to offer, but I'm not going to provide you anything additional in terms of any additional assistance. So the party, frustrated in this, ended up going around trying to discover other information about what they could with the town. Robar was actually met with one of the two daughters, granddaughters of Eric. And Eric, the master of Selduin, was escorted by Idis and Erna, and it was Idis who actually came to Robar and said that she was concerned about what was going to happen to the town, that she felt her grandfather was making a mistake, and that she wanted to help any way she could. And so Robar actually asked her to spread the word to some of the other townspeople so that he could assemble a force. And so Robar spent much of that day training, in quotes, the defenders of the town. Exactly. Unfortunately, the group, the sort of defenders of the town, although they are of sort of prouder and hardier stuff than it might otherwise seem. Someone pointed out that this was not Stonyford, and indeed it is not. It's not that bad. But the people there, nonetheless, are not sort of hardened warriors. And so a lot of what Robar found is enthusiasm, but not a lot of training. And so Robar was trying to do what he could to train these people in secret, basically away from the town, because the reason, apparently, that Eric was so angry at Bard is that he had sent for help when orcs had previously come to invade some time ago. Bard had not been able to, for whatever reason, send assistance, and so Eric's wife was actually killed. So he was incredibly angry as a consequence, and so Robar went to actually visit the site where she was buried, and while there, found these people that he brought along, who he began to train. While he was doing this, Tani was and the river were busy looking around the town, trying to assess kind of the general mood of how people were feeling. And Tani, in your case, if there were sort of obvious healing protocols and places where these things existed, you didn't find anything that was specific to that, except that the Inn at the Crossings, which is that number 3 building that you folks see behind you on the screen there, is a large stone-walled inn and is a very strong-looking building, probably maybe even not quite as strong, but close to the toll gate itself. And so that's something which you all took note of as being a place that could be a fallback position if something actually was required. In the meantime, Inga was trying to fix the doors that I mentioned before of the toll gate, which she was able to do. And right after the party had had a chance to do some of these things, several orcs came riding on wargs across the bridge. And Eric sent his son forth to tend to him. And basically to sort of, treat with him, essentially. And so he sent his son across the bridge. The son sort of basically proudly said that, that Selduin was an independent city, but if the orcs were, polite and so forth, they'd be allowed through. And the orc laughed, ran him through with a spear, tossed his body over the bridge, and basically said, "We take what we want, you will be our slaves," before turning, wheeling, and taking him and the orc and the wolf away. And so as I hand things back over to the party, the orc on top of the warg and the other warg are riding back towards what you have to assume is the vanguard of the army, while the body of the master's son lies floating face down in the river, while the people on the riverbank sort of gasp in horror.
I would like to try and shoot
me too.
messenger dude.
Okay. You can try to get a shot off, I think, on the messenger. You're not going to have chance for more than one because the warg moves quickly.
No, I just have a question.
Oh, sure.
The bridge, the toll booth, as you were saying.
The toll gate, yeah.
Yeah, the doors, do they open out towards the number 3 or?
Yes, correct. They open out towards the number 3.
So either it is meant to guard against people coming from the north, or whoever built this bridge is an idiot.
Well, the doors are on the inside of the portcullis, in fairness. So the portcullis is closer to the bridge, and then the door is beyond that. So it doesn't matter.
What matters is if you've got like a cart that's trying to come across that bridge, it has to go across to the far side of the bridge. And if you then say, no, you can't come through, how the hell are they going to turn that thing around to go back the other way?
In fairness,
whoever
though,
built this bridge was an idiot.
Yeah, that's true. Well, in fairness, the bridge is a good size, though. It is 20 feet wide, so that's a decent width for a bridge. But yes, I will acknowledge that perhaps they could have thought about this differently. And one thing I will say, actually, that's helpful is that the doors are of newer construction than the portcullis, so it's possible that those were built later.
It's just one of those things where you built it, and now you realize just after you've done it, like, oh, fuck. Like, oh no.
Why did I do that?
And then you just go with it.
You're thinking, man, if they wanted to try to open these, there's only so many people that can grab a hold of it and pull to try to open it. But if they wanted to push it open, they just have to keep throwing weight against the other side. And it is stupid to build it that way. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Yes.
Mistakes were made.
But in any case, so that is the situation that we see. So if you want to fire off a shot, you can do that, Robar and Inga, if you like, at the retreating work.
Well, I have a question quickly before that.
Sure.
It is absolutely impossible that Eric's son has survived, right? Like
I think his head is
quite dead.
No, his head is not cut off. No, he was stabbed through with a spear, and then the orc literally lifted his body on the spear and just tossed it into the, so
he's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Bar survived. Oh no, wait. He's in the river.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's lying face down with a gradually. I shouldn't say his body's floating pretty quickly because the river is fast. So he's yeah. So so you can get your shots in if you like.
Roll to attack.
16.
Oh Jesus.
16.
8.
Yeah, so Ing is definitely a miss. The 16. Let me think. Yeah, you know what? I was going to say I was inclined to give you that at disadvantage, but since that is the lower disadvantage, sure, I'll say that that's a hit. Yeah. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Alrighty. That will be 6 points, but it's +2 because he's a evil son of a gun. So 8 damage.
Okay, so the arrow, and he kind of falls forward almost, and the warg sort of falters for a moment, and then he kind of looks back over at you, back over his shoulder in murderous fury, and spurs his wolf on.
Wait, can they not get off 2 shots in one?
Yeah, I was just going to say, don't you get 2 attacks?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Don't you both get
Sure, you can get. Yeah, that's right. You can get
especially
one. You can
if
get attack actions.
I guess, technically that's.
Sure, because this is an attack action.
You guys don't even know how covetous I am of the 2 attacks per round. So every single time I see you not taking them, I'm like,
just
no.
think about it. Yeah, Inga, I'm giving you this and Robar though at disadvantage. Both the speed and the sort of angle from which he's doing it. So I'm afraid an 11 and a 12 is not going to make it. Is not going to miss. However, the arrow, the message has clearly been sent by the arrow that was hit. Would have been hard to bring him down, I think, even if all of you had hit it. Possible, but unlikely. But as the wargs sort of race off, you can hear very faintly in the distance these horns blowing. And so it's very clear that the enemy is on its way. These ones, by the way, simply there were orcs, sort of smaller, almost goblin-sized orcs that were riding on top of these wargs, but you have to assume that the army itself is going to be a little bit larger than that. Eric is sort of standing near the sort of side of the toll gate, actually probably closest to you, Tawny, and escorted as he usually is by his two granddaughters, by Idis and Erna. And as they sort of see this, he kind of gasps, and both of the granddaughters, because of course they've just seen that was their father, are just sort of like, Idis sort of falls to her knees and wails, and Erna doesn't seem to know, puts a hand to her mouth and kind of almost staggers backwards in shock. And the townspeople quickly race out on the docks, which are right here, number 5 over here, and race out on the docks to try to catch the body before it drifts away. And they are eventually able to do that. They're able to sort of catch the body with these long poles and kind of pull it back, and they drag his body out of the water, and you can see, Tawny, that he'll be long. Fine. Yeah, he's maybe in the next life, not in this one.
He's not going to get any worse, is the point.
And so Eric turns around and sort of like just takes a step forward or two towards his son, and then just kind of staggers to one knee and is just silent. And everyone just seems to be, now just in shock, staring at the body that's on the shore. And meanwhile, you hear the ever slightly louder sound of the horn in the distance.
Damn.
No, since I wasn't here for that.
I'll shout out to the assembled crowd if there's presumably some.
Oh yeah.
People going. I say, men and women of Selduin, if you do not stand now, you will fall. Join me. Ah! And I go nowhere.
You accidentally frightened them, and they bolt away. No, that was that was bothering me. I think they are well and prepared at this point. Robar, they seem to be kind of a mix. Some of them, sort of seem angry, and especially your people that you trained kind of wave around their pitchforks and a couple of their swords, and they look ready to go. A lot of the other townsfolk just sort of look at you slack-jawed, like they're just horrified, like they can't even process what just happened. It looks like a mixture of shock and fear.
I look to the river. Oh, thank God you're here. Okay. You want to do something about these guys? They're kind of not vibing off of us very well.
They've got a thorn.
Okay, River. So, I'm gonna just hand wave the fact that River hasn't actually been. I don't know. She had laryngitis or something for the last couple.
And she's been talking to the townspeople, River. So you have done that.
Okay. Were there any specific encounters with any of the town people alongside Tawny that I should know about?
I would say that the biggest one was Eric himself. The thing that you noted about these people is that whereas there was some, you may remember with Stonyford, there was some suspicion of the leadership, that's not the case here. People seem to respect Eric greatly, even if they did or did not disagree. And you basically found that some of the people wanted to sort of help you, and some of the people said, well, whatever Eric says. But none of them were willing to say that Eric was bad or doing a bad job. Like, there's a lot of respect for him, and a lot of mention of his granddaughters, Idis and Erna, who are always with him. There's a lot of discussion of them because apparently they're well loved by the townsfolk.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm sorry. I'm hearing. There's a lot. I don't know if you guys can hear the sound in the.
Oh, we can.
You can.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, this is not the most ideal situation. River looks around at every. I think that when Eric falls to his knees in front of his son, River's first impulse is to want to comfort him or have sympathy there somehow. But I think that the way that she, but no, there's too many people. There's too much danger on the route. So she will look at that and she'll start to say in front of him as if she's speaking to him, but then her voice will gradually kind of build and grow to encompass everyone else around them. To say, songs will tell of the generosity and hospitality of Selduin, who were willing to treat with even the worst of the world. But your generosity has been betrayed here in such vile and vicious ways, and they will treat with all of you the way that they have treated with your most loved. And they will do worse than this. We have seen them do worse than this. Our only choice now is to fight them and repel them and join with those who would fight them. And something more stirring.
And I'm sorry, you were addressing this to the townspeople or to Eric?
I think that she is basically going to, modulate this, she's a heraldic warden. She has that way of speaking that is like to one person, but can be heard, around. Yeah.
Yep. So I will ask you to make a persuasion check for me, please. And you can do this at, I think you can do this at advantage. They've seen for themselves the result of what happens when you don't do this.
Okay. Persuasion.
Oh, also, we got preparation dice.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I got that.
Of them. So, okay,
yep.
you don't need it.
During the
Never mind.
combat, we will we'll definitely take that into account. Okay. So 21, is the one. So you see a lot of people sort of beginning to stir, and they look at you and they look at Robar, and they sort of start talking to each other, and they nod, and a few sort of come up to you and, what do you need from us? And you can see the townspeople in general now are seem to be reacting. The Erna sort of gently leads her grandfather over to where the body of her father is, and they sort of sit there. You don't know whether you're going to get a lot from the granddaughters anyway, but Eric sort of slowly stands and kind of turns and sort of kisses each of his granddaughters on the head and puts a hand on the body of his dead son, and then he turns to you and takes several steps towards you, and you hear a kind of a gasp, but at first you don't really understand what everyone's reacting to. And then it occurs to you that this is the first time you've ever seen Eric moving without someone helping him. In fact, it's the first time you've ever seen him sort of moving without someone guiding him and saying, go here, go there, or whatever. And he says in kind of a stronger voice, and he says, apparently age is no bar to foolishness. We will do whatever you wish. I will mourn my own stupidity later. My people must be saved. Give these strangers any assistance they require. And he sort of speaks, and the people kind of all nod furiously and begin running about, and none too soon, because just as they're saying that, you hear, I hope this sounds right. Hold on, it may not sound right. No. Oh, yeah. Right, that does it.
Lions. Yes, they're bringing lions.
They have a cave lion. Not quite, but you do hear growling and howling coming. And it is. So I've talked about the blowing of the horn. This is coming much faster. And if you had to guess, there are wolves coming very fast. And so you don't see them yet, but you hear them. So I'm going to move us over to a new map, and you folks are going to have a chance to prepare your defenses.
Sounds like wolves.
Oh, are we healed up, by the way?
Yes, let me tell you about that. Yes, you are. The only one who right now what I have actually is Robard 36 out of 36.
Yeah.
I have you at 27 out of 39, River.
Yeah.
I have Stone at 20 out of 20. Inga's at 34 out of 40. And I have Tani at 27 out of 35. That is what I'm currently looking at.
All right. So we didn't like rest in the
Did
town.
not have a chance to not much. Because you were, time sensitive. Like you had to kind of get down here as soon as you could.
Gotcha.
And when you got here, you chose not to rest rather than doing what you needed to do to kind of talk about the town. And I should mention, Terry mentioned before that you all have, because of the work that you did with the gates. On the toll gates, and because of the work that you did, that Robar did with his people, you have 2 of these, what are essentially called preparation dice. And what that means is during the battle, any player character can take and roll a preparation die, which is a 1d6, and you can add the results to any one attack roll, damage roll, saving throw, skill check, or add the result to your AC in reaction to an attack. So it's
cool.
very flexible, and you have 2 of those because of your preparations that you've done so far.
Like as a party, though, like not each of us gets 2 of them. Like we all together.
Right.
have 2 of
Yeah,
them.
collectively.
So we need
You
to
don't-
share.
You don't all get them, yeah.
Okay, got it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that is the deal with that. Let's see. And you have, if you had to guess, you probably have no more than maybe a half hour to kind of position them based on the speed of how it sounds, how loud the voices are getting of the growling. Yes, if people could bring themselves in to this map, that would be lovely. This map here, all of the squares on this map are... That is absolutely not accurate. It said 5 feet, and I can't be because I just said 10 feet. So all the squares here are 10 feet. I will...
I'm quite certain that this is proper parliamentary procedure. Point of aggravation.
Yes.
In the last map, the bridge was pointing south. Now it's pointing to the side.
Yeah, I know it. I know it. I know. I'm so sorry. So the northern side. So basically, let me freehand that. I know. I don't understand. They all want to be special snowflakes. Let's do ours differently. Okay. So arrow north. Okay.
Oh, okay.
There we go. So that's north. And so, again, just to be clear, this bridge is in very good shape. It is white stone, very strong, and the toll gate does look as if it's very strong as well. Also, speaking of the toll gate, or really I should call it the toll house, the toll house has... Sorry?
They have good cookies.
They have good cookies. Delicious, yes. It's all actually the Keebler elves. Man,
is this elven? Yeah.
Yes, that's what I say. No, there are 2 floors to this toll house. There is a ground floor and an upper floor. The upper floor has the mechanisms to raise and lower the portcullis, and there are arrow slits in both of them. So there's basically arrow slits over here, and there are arrow slits over here. So you can basically one slit large enough for one person to kind of point arrows through if you wish. On the bottom floor, there are also this portcullis here, which you can see right here. You could also thrust your weapons through the gaps because the gate is, the holes are large enough for you to do that. It's not large enough for anything to sneak through, but it's definitely large enough that you could poke through that. And of course, they could do the opposite as well. If you're standing behind the portcullis, you will fight at disadvantage against any creature that you're fighting against, but you will gain the benefit of 3/4 cover, which is a +5 bonus to your AC and dexterity saving throws. So being behind that portcullis does not protect you entirely from arrow shots or from spear thrusts in the other direction, but it helps a lot. It just makes it harder for you to fight them, outside. So you'll have to decide if you want to send people out of the bridge, inside the bridge. Last thing I'll mention, and then you can ask me any questions you have. The river, as I said, is traveling very quickly. If you want to swim the river, you're going to need to make strength checks to avoid being swept away, and the opposite would also be true. So it is possible that it could be crossed, but it won't be easy to do so.
So how much time do we have, like, roughly?
Best guess, a half hour.
Okay.
They're coming quick.
Okay, then Inga turns to some of the younger people, or like people who don't look like they're gonna be able to fight.
Okay.
And asks them, do you have signal horns anywhere?
And a couple of them, one of them nods and says, yes, we have horns that we have used, but it has been long since they have been blown.
Oh, good. Then I want 3 people to take like a horn each and go to the north side, the west side, and the east side of the town and keep an eye out in case they are gonna try to flank the town. And signal us if you see anybody, like any groups of attackers coming. Signal once for an attack, signal twice if it's reinforcements.
And they nod, and a couple of them sort of rush off to do that.
Quick question about the town, though. Isn't the bridge the only way over? Oh, but wait, they can ring it. Right, never mind.
Exactly. Yeah, unless because they're boats or whatever. If they were to cross the river on other sides. Yeah. Okay. This is the easiest way by far, though. It's got to be the reason that the army's coming this direction, because this has got to be the easiest way to cross.
Firing from arrow slits should, if I understand the mechanics correctly, also give you 3/4 cover. Correct?
Yep. That is correct, and the arrow slits will not give you a negative to attack, because of the way that you're sort of doing stuff. So that is correct. 3/4 one way or the other. Also, one other note about the bridge: the bridge is narrow enough that a couple of characters could try to hold the bridge and block enemies advancing across it. A character, though, who is knocked prone or pushed on the bridge, whether they be good or evil, could be thrown over the side into the river. So you could do that.
Not your worst nightmare.
Not the river, but the actual your worst nightmare. Exactly. Yeah, you just see it and fall in immediately.
Just die.
But yeah, so you could do that to the orcs. You could also, or the wolves. You could also have it done to you. So yeah.
I'm thinking I might take an arrow slit or a portcullis position.
Yeah.
Also, one last thing. I'm sorry. One last note.
No,
there is also a roof to this toll gate, on which you could also stand and fire. The roof archers on the roof could also fire. Obviously, they do not have cover, but they could do that as well. So you've got ground floor, you've got the arrow slits in the second floor, and then you've got the roof from which archers could go. There's a trap door in the roof that allows access to and from.
So my question is, you can't all of our positions have to be established before the fighting starts, and then they won't be able to change, right? Because
you could definitely shift them over time if you wish, but you'll just have to deal with the presence of creatures as you do it. This is the only chance you have before creatures arrive.
Right, but if we wanted, for instance, to decide between behind or in front of portcullis, that's not something that we're going to be able to, we're not going to lift the portcullis in order to...
If you do, there'll be consequences.
Right. Exactly. So...
Yeah. We're going to have to Aragorn and Gimli rope on, and Ingo
it's a
will
long
us.
way.
It's about 40 feet by the looks of it.
Yeah. So I mean, River can definitely do more damage, I think, being on the bridge outside of the portcullis, but also will probably die.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have the portcullises and the defenses. I say we should use them.
Yeah.
It's an arched bridge, right?
No, it is flat. It is a flat bridge.
Didn't we bring oil, or was that a different thing?
That's why I was asking.
You did bring oil.
Because we should first of all get large pots.
I always bring oil.
Boil oil for when they come over.
Slick that bridge.
Well, I was thinking of set that bridge on fire because it's made from stone. It's not going to collapse under the fire.
No. Slick that bridge first, then set it on fire.
Yes. Okay. So first of all, that
bad boy right up.
But also put 2 cauldrons full of oil on top of the gate to pour down boiling oil.
That might hit the people who are at the portcullis on the other side as well, though.
And we're not going to get that oil all the way up to boiling in a half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
No, but we can set it off now, and then at some point, if have it at in reserve, basically.
Well, I think if I remember correctly, we have basically 2 barrels.
Oh,
of oil
okay.
with
That's
us.
right.
So
okay.
we put one barrel on the bridge, crack open the bottom of it so it starts leaking out across the bridge, and when the orcs are coming across, flaming arrow into the thing, it lights the whole thing up, and that gives us some time to deal with the people from afar. We get the other barrel up to the top, and we keep like ladles or cups or something, and we just fling oil out across them so that they catch when if they're trying to run across it.
Hit them with a ladle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ladle. I made you out. Okay.
I also need to apologize about one thing because I realized that I misread this map. So the original map, the original map, the bridge is. So this lends credence to your theory that they built the bridge stupidly, Trent. So the bridge is actually 10 feet wide, not 20 feet wide. So the squares are 5 feet. So I apologize, I misread that.
Can't
So
turn a fucking cart around like that.
Yeah. So they'd have to just go one
bridge,
direction,
turn
turn around. I know. I guess that's how it works. But
Imagine
anyway.
if there was a queue. Like if there was a queue.
Exactly.
Wow.
Well, it looks like it was not necessarily built for.
Well, like I said, it was built defending for people coming from the north.
Yeah.
If that were the case, it would make perfect sense.
It's definitely an old toll gate that has been there for a long time. So.
Okay, so if we have, so we're gonna do this oil thing. Can we not do that? Can we not spread the oil well ahead? Sorry. Excuse me.
So tight.
We don't have to wait for them to there's no timing issue with spreading the oil. It's gonna stay slick and flammable regardless of when we pour it. So that should be the
until
first
it's
thing.
lit. I would say that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so that is a thing that definitely should be getting done. And if Tawny directs it, then River will find people to make it happen.
Okay. Oh, and one note about the oil. The oil that you brought with you, you may remember, was designed originally to sort of put this on the river, and so it was of the more thick and viscous variety, which means that it's easier to catch and fire, but it also means that it's not going to be as slick. So I just want to be clear that it's not like a grease slick where people are just going to slip the minute they step on it. It's not quite like that, but the benefit of it is that it therefore will light a little faster. So I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, but if they are running on it, maybe.
Maybe, depends. If we're talking on wolves, four-legged wolves are probably not going to be that bothered by it, but to go on it. But they'll be bothered if it bursts into flames. That would definitely bother them.
Right.
So I would also like to tell some people to bring stones to the top of the gate, like bricks and anything that will hurt your head when it's dropped on you from the top of it.
They will go and do that. Also, as you're doing this, a couple of people who've been there for a while, a couple of the actual guards, and there's not a lot of them, but who are the ones who stand by the toll gate, explain to you a little bit about what the battlements are designed to do. So essentially what you find out from it is, so I mentioned that the portcullis level, you get the 3/4 cover, and then you're attacking at disadvantage, but you get 3/4 cover. So the arrow slits actually give you not quite 3/4, but half cover, and you're able to attack at normal, with no disadvantage on your side. Those who were on the battlements actually have an opportunity to shoot first before any creatures can shoot at them, but they do not have the benefit of cover. So that's just to kind of calculate in your head.
Okay. Also, I would like to get ropes up on the towers, the two of them. So, in case we would need to, swing down over the gate to, attack from there, that we can, let ourselves down.
Okay, so you want a coil of rope basically on the battlements, on each of the battlements, you're saying? Okay.
I would say and cut a bunch of heads off.
Yes!
Yeah. Okay, I would say that the town can do that. The townspeople can do that. Doing this is probably going to take about 10-15 minutes, so you have about 15 minutes left.
Okay, then also I think it would be wise for people to bring in tables and basically, wait, let me draw it on the map. Basically build a V-shaped barrier, so, in case they break through, so that people can hide behind here.
Kind of a balustrade.
I see.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay, I would say how many of these, because you probably can take from the inn a couple of tables that would come close to that, but it's probably only those tables, if you put them together, would probably only be about 10 feet. You'd probably only get on either side about half that distance, maybe to right, say
it would almost be like hiding behind a kite shield at this point.
Yeah. No, it's a good idea. I'm here for it. I just wanted to let you know that it's probably about that distance, Inga, because they just don't have enough tables.
And we need to have since we're setting the bridge and the orcs on fire, we need to get somebody out here with onions and garlic, ready to just hurl it in there and
yes, exactly.
saute the whole thing.
It's just a huge
aromatic.
stone wok. Like
Ooh,
Restaurant. I don't know what weapons the people who will be behind the portcullis have, but River is going to be recommending that people have spears or long things that they can stab.
That is what they have. They have some spears and some bows, short bows, and they've seen better days, but they have some of them. Not a lot. You would guess that maybe all told you might have like 10 fighting people that have that, and everyone else is like pitchforks, rocks, etc. The sort of Robar's crew is the very enthusiastic but under-equipped party. And by the way, speaking of that, Robar, so far the River and Inga have been talking to other townspeople. Your, in quotes, force consists of about 15 of these, well-meaning types. What do you want to do with them? Where do you want to deploy them?
I guess
Like
in the portcullis.
Yeah, like everybody, like as many people as there are bows, put them up there, and everybody who doesn't have a bow gets a spear or something and goes down into the gate.
Get into the gate or up into either one of the arrow slit locations and try your best, kids.
How tall is the gate?
Those are stand-ins for town guards that I'm showing everybody.
Nice.
Cool. How tall is the gate?
I would say the overall building is about, the overall building's about 18 feet in each sort of tower, and so the gate itself, which is a little lower, is probably about 13, 14 feet. It's pretty decent height.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Please do not show this bar. Yeah. It's not even their actual hit points.
Bio break.
There we go. Oh, don't show the bar. Stop showing this bar. Leave blank.
Thinking about it.
There we go. That's better. Okay. All right. So I'm going to position those people as you requested. So you've got a couple behind the portcullis. Robar, where else are you putting? So you got like, because right now you can basically put two next to each other, standing behind the portcullis, and then that would leave you about 12 or so people.
Okay, then the rest of they've got bows can go up into either side to the arrow slits.
I would say probably another 4 of them have bows, probably. So
okay.
So I'll position those up there, like this, and then, and that's probably all that could fit would be those ones in those 2 arrow slits because they're not that large. Okay, so that's 6. That leaves you roughly about 6 people.
I guess we can have more on the gate. That seems like the only place to really put them.
Unless you want to put them, unless you want to put others on the roof too, because these guys are in the battlements behind the arrow slits, but you could also put some on the battlements if you want. I don't know where you want to be too. Like I don't know if you.
Yeah. He doesn't fall that far ahead. Yeah, I think Robar will probably take an arrow slit as well, but we can sort of like tag team an arrow slit,
That's
right?
Fine,
so
yeah,
like
yeah.
I fire, you come back in.
Yep.
What do we think, team? Should we put them on a roof? I feel like they might just die on the roof.
They absolutely will.
Yeah, I don't want to just.
If I were a town guard,
yeah, right.
They got like 2 hit points apiece.
These red shirts are gonna
town guard on the roof.
Let's put well, if there are 12 of them, we've deployed 6. Then let's just put like 1 in reserve for each one of them. So if a man goes down, he can pick up the bow or.
Okay, so put behind, like basically put them behind here, like here.
Right.
Here. Okay. And we'll do that on the other side also.
Yeah, because I just have a feeling if they're on the roof, they're just going to get iced and do nothing.
Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that leaves you with 2 more people that you could theoretically place.
What do we want them? Maybe in the gate?
What I'm almost thinking of is artillery. They don't have specific targets to fire at. They just shoot over and out. Since these guys are going to have to bottleneck on the bridge, they could almost shoot blind into that crowd and hit something.
Yeah.
or even just small clay cups full of oil and just.
Yeah, let's put him on oil duty because we need someone to be slinging. Yeah. All right,
Okay.
those two can go sort of like.
Even if they have like little bitty clay pots that they can just like a mug that they can cork and just put it in a sling.
Well,
the fucker out there.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to say was you could also position them if you wish outside the toll house on the bank, like because the bridge itself is not that high, so there's not like high walls on the bridge. So you could do that. It's just that they are open to attack, but you could theoretically put them on the banks if you want.
I was also thinking they could be on the docks and still hit something from there as well, but then they have no protection whatsoever.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about as well. But maybe if just where Inga is standing and like Trent's saying, they can just like lob over the gate, even if you don't see a target. You know, there's going to be orcs here and.
Okay. Keep in mind that means they won't be able to see any of you if you end up on that side.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
We don't plan on going over there. And then they're in reserve in case we need to shout at someone to do something. They can be the youngest boys. Like, we don't want to put them on a front line. But...
Okay. I would say that with that done, that leaves you probably about 5 minutes or so after
There are probably some young kids who are very skilled with slings because kids do that.
Oh yeah, and there's some very eager kids actually who are happy to,
So they could do like the little cups full of oil, corked cups full of oil, and boom.
Yep.
Send those things arcing over the.
This toll house of emergency cookie flinging elves. I don't know. That doesn't seem to be part of the.
I'm just reminding myself of the time spent in the town does not count as a short rest, right?
No, because you were actively looking around and talking to people.
Okay.
That's partly what made it possible for you to convince them, River, because they were already, familiar with you.
You weren't quite pulling a James Dean where you're just leaning on the wall, having a cigarette, talking to them, and getting a short rest out.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
I'm just looking at Staunching Song of the Wounded and its mechanics and stuff, but they require a short rest.
The only other thing I wanted to mention very quickly as a thought is you only have a few minutes. One last thing you could also do, but it's very dangerous, is you could send scouts, essentially explorers, to the other side of the bridge to basically ambush them. But again, the minute they're spotted, they're dead, probably.
Yeah.
But it would give you, theoretically could give you a benefit if you did that. And there are volunteers willing to do any of this. One thing I want to note, all of you are, once they were sort of decided, once Eric said, okay, go ahead, you're struck how, like, none of them raise any objections at all. They're just like, whatever you say. They're like, all right, we'll do this, we'll do this.
You, if there's one person this town could do without, who is it? You, get across the bridge.
This guy stumbles forward. Well, I'm old Joe. All right, old Joe.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Okay, don't worry. It's a dream. Go.
Wow. Gain 12 shadow points. God.
Oh, no. Yeah. We don't. Do we have did we ever learn or have a sense of how big a force is coming?
It's got to be pretty sizable based upon the sound of the horns and just the number of sort of crow, or the crow circles that you saw that were around them. It's got to be pretty large.
Looking good.
Yeah, it seemed to be pretty large. And the only thing you know for sure is what you've seen of the goblins on the wargs. Frankly, if it's all goblins and wargs, you might be able to manage that, but you have to assume that that's just the beginning.
So hey, all of these people around us are also. Would you say that they're all within 30 feet of river?
I think so. Let me just see, though. Yeah, I think so. Sure.
Cool. So the last thing I think River is going to do as the the sounds of the horns approach and stuff like that is she's going to start singing a song of slaying, and this kind of terrifying, keening, knife in the wind sort of song that
high calypso. Yeah, I know the tone.
Yeah. in order to inspire everyone around to more ferocity. And that should give everyone a D4 on their next attack.
Awesome. All right. They seem inspired and ready to go, although nervous, although not as frightened as you would have expected. These people seem surprisingly more ready for this.
Oh.
Something to think about. What'd you say?
In on it.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, we're all ready.
We're just looking around like,
we're actually yours. So now I need to know where you folks are positioning yourself. Tani, did you vanish from the map altogether, or did you never?
Looks like I may have, or I might be behind one of these guards. I was on the map. I'm. That's okay. I'll pull myself back. No.
I'd like to go on one of those ramparts.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on one of these arrow slits.
Okay, you might want to go to the other side. I think there's not that much room for all of you. So if you go, one of you, exactly. River, where are you in stone? And then Tani, where are you?
I'm expecting River and Stone to be at the front of the people at the portcullis.
Okay, all right.
But still having the coverage of the portcullis.
Okay.
I mean, Tani's about normal size there.
There you go. And Tani, where are you going?
He's getting ready to go on to healing duty, so he's kind of staying back in central, but not in direct line of fire through the portcullis.
All right. In that case, I'm going to give all of you one last preparation die for all of these preparations. So you have 3 of these now. 3 of these preparations dice, and you make these arrangements none too soon because as you're finishing the last of it, you can hear the howling gets louder and suddenly is terrifyingly present. As coming over the hill, you see a host of orcs and wargs. There are smaller goblins like the one that you saw. The one that actually speared him was a little bigger than this, but these seem to be smaller goblins riding upon wolves and scrambling down the valley slope towards the bridge. And I would say Inga and Robar in particular, you recognize some of these, sort of the type of these, as being in all likelihood orcs and wolves of the mountains. In fact, Tani, you would not be surprised if these were themselves creatures that had fought in the Battle of Five Armies, because these are the same types of goblins and orcs that you remember seeing on the field. Which, it's been a long time since you've seen a force of these assembled since those days, to be honest. And they come scrambling down, and then they stop, and let me just position them quickly. So, where am I?
To answer your question, Coven Guy, you've missed everything up to this point.
Yes, you've missed
Like,
absolutely.
hey, I remember these guys. Didn't I see you at the Battle of Five Armies?
Kevin? Kevin, is that you?
How have you been, Bob?
It's been so long.
Okay. Please ignore the hit point totals are not accurate. I'm not going to go through and fix each one of them. All right. These guys.
Kill her. Eat her little fuzzy bit.
Yeah, I told you she loves that thing.
Okay. Let's see. 2.
Please don't eat my nipple. Thank you.
4.
And Miranda, if you've never listened to the song High Calypso by John Denver, please do. The high-pitched, scary, keening note that R was talking about is in the chorus every time. And yes, it would terrify orcs if they heard it. I'm telling
Let's see. I have to listen to this, actually. High Calypso, you say?
By John Denver, yeah.
Here we go.
But yeah, I think Inga would. First of all, how many arrows do we all together have? Like, do we have to be worried about the amount of arrows? Like
They're not
out?
unlimited. I would say that you probably have enough for maybe, let us say, probably split among everybody, probably about 8 arrows, I would say, each. So you
that's not a lot.
Yeah.
What? 8 arrows each?
Yep. So 8 rounds of combat worth is what would be your guess. Because you have to spread it among all of the townspeople is the problem. I mean, among the people that are firing, that is.
You get 2 attacks per round is the other thing, so...
Right. Yeah, that's true. Actually, I forgot about the 2 attacks. Let us say... I'll make that a little bit more than that then. Let's say that it's probably 12 then per person. So 12 arrows, I think, is more reasonable. So let's say 12.
You can pull the Carrie Elwes in Men in Tights, the array of of arrows. Just shoot 6 of them at once.
It's the
like
best.
I said, artillery. It's perfect.
Exactly.
In that case, would it be either wiser to like do like a arrow shower thing where like they all shoot as once, like on command, or would it be like smarter to just tell them to shoot whenever, but only if they're close enough so that they can be certain that they hit something?
Yeah, with these guys, because they're not trained, it's definitely best to wait for them to come, and then we give them the commands. And
especially if what we want, I mean, so we should, when do we want to light them on fire is the question. Presumably when they're actually...
Well, we don't need to use arrows for that. We can just throw a torch.
No, I know, but the thing is like, if we wait until they're on fire to shoot arrows at them, then it makes sense, like they'll be that much closer, right? Or... you know what I mean? Or
I think I would save the fire until we run out of arrows. Like basically, if at some point it looks like we cannot deal with the attackers on the bridge, that's when we set the bridge on fire.
Actually, what I'm thinking is if you start killing people with arrows at the front lines, then hopefully that will make a barricade, and that means like a bottleneck will happen, which would be better for setting them on fire. So that's probably a good point.
Okay. So we hope that like so many orc corpses stack in front of the gate that they...
Orcs don't care about each other. They'll toss the bodies into the water.
No, that's true, but that's still an action that's going to take up time, right?
True, it will.
It's just, I'm just thinking of obstruction, not so much of, I don't expect them to go, Steve! Like, you know, but...
That was our favorite. Yeah, don't shoot until you see the whites of their eyes, exactly.
He just had 1 week until retirement.
He was close to getting his pension, you bastard.
See, I was going to say, don't shoot it until you smell the width of their thighs, and I thought, no, that's gross, don't say that. But I guess I did anyway.
My favorite variation on this is actually from Order of the Stick, where it's don't shoot until you see the eyes of their whites.
That's quality.
Very good. I think it's very clever. A clever schoonerism.
All right, so as these, you see them sort of charging down, and the one in front, actually, so there are what look to be at least 4 of these wild wolves that you can see, sort of smaller wargs. And on their backs are goblins that you can see on each of them. There are 2 more goblins that are not on wolves that sort of run down to the end of the bridge. And then there is, and there are more wolves and sort of that are around, but these are the ones that you see that are closest to the bridge. And then there is one larger orc, not a goblin, on the back of what is clearly a full warg, not just a wolf, but an actual warg. And he comes forward, and he has this tall, what looks like you recognize this river as being probably, and actually Inga would too, as being probably a barding shield. You recognize it from when you were back up, when you were dealing with Dale a little while ago. But it has been defaced by bloody smears, and it has hacks and cuts, obviously taken from one of their victims. And this orc chieftain has these red burning eyes, and he slows down and sort of walks out to about maybe 20 or 30 feet out. And then he sort of looks at the defenses that you have set up, and then he says, "Open your gates, maggots, or you'll hang from them." And then he blows this horn, and you hear answering from the hills behind. Like, you hear all these horns answering, many of them, 10 or 12 at least, that you can hear from the hills. And he sort of lowers it, and he's got his shield up in front of him like he's expecting an attack. And he waits for your reply.
Robar, too.
Oh, right, that's me.
Line.
Robar stutters for a second. No!
They turn and depart. Thanks for coming to his TED Talk. No, they don't do that. So there's this sort of moment.
I think River's gonna also
That's good, right?
River's like waiting for Robar to say something, inspiring, and hears that no, and then goes, Quarter! No quarter!
Yeah, right. That's what I meant.
And they sort of
Tawny's like, I've got 86 cents.
okay. And with that, they charge. I would like everybody, please, to roll initiative for me, and it's time to
touch yourself.
remove the spider's
Okay.
web and to turn on. I think it's this one, right? Yep.
I want to remind you, like, click your token and then roll initiative.
That's what I say. Don't forget to touch yourself.
Oh, I was so busy trying to forget that you'd said that. I can't actually tell if I am touching myself, as it were, because
This is all very troubling.
no, but I mean,
No comment.
so covered with.
By Bellanis.
Actually, the more I try to make the sentence work, the less it will work.
Yeah,
All right.
it's
Yes.
a dream. Just let it go.
And
Okay.
Frozen 2.
Let's see.
Oh, mine was there a minute ago now.
Yeah, I know. I should have deleted the ones that I had up there first, but I did
Oh,
not.
you're
So
good.
I'm
Do you want me
just
to roll
adding
it
them
again,
anyway.
or just-
No, it's fine.
Okay.
So you have a 14, I think is what I see.
14, yeah.
oh wow. Okay.
All right. And River has a 23. Okay, so
By the way, who's gonna give the shoot stick the roll bar or Inga? I would prefer you.
I'll do it, yeah.
Okay.
You go.
who's gonna do what now?
Who's going to give the shoot signal?
Oh, okay. Okay. 14
No.
and 12.
First, there's the guy's daughters or granddaughters or whatever, one of whom's name I keep hearing as Itis, and I can only imagine her swollen and inflamed.
Oh my God!
As that
It's
is her name.
Idis.
I know that.
UIDIS.
I'm just saying that that's the way it processes in my brain. So now, since I recently watched Blazing Saddles, as soon as I hear Tara say that she wants him to give the shoot signal, I immediately hear Shotzi in my brain over and over and over.
Oi, where the elven women at?
Exactly.
Oh my god, this is so tangential. But have any of you read a comic called Die?
I don't think
It's
so.
Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hans.
D-I-E or D-A-I or...
DIE.
Thank you.
It is so amazing. It is. I think the way Kieran talks about it is like goth Jumanji, but like, but it's so much more than that. But the gist of it is that a group of kids get together to play a game that one of them's invented. All of them get sucked into the Fantasyland game, and it's more D&D than it is like Jumanji or whatever.
I was gonna say yeah.
And they stay there for 2 years, and then but we don't see what happens to them. We just see them come back, and one of them is missing an arm, and one of them is just missing, and then they live 20 years, and then go back to the game. So the comic has them like going back to their like childhood avatars and stuff in this fantasy land, and struggling with whether or not they want to try and get out of it so that they can go back to their adult human lives with children and stuff like that, or to stay in the fantasy land. And it's so good. I've only read the first trade so far, but it is amazing, and I highly recommend it.
Wow. Yeah, I noticed you've been talking quite a bit about comics as of late on
Yes.
Twitter, etc.
Yes, I have to design a comics course for next term.
Ah. Okay.
And
You know, if you're looking for a certain independent comic that talks about, let me know. Who is this person?
I have not had a chance to read it yet, unfortunately. But the trickiness with the forming the course is actually just trying to figure out a structure for it. Like,
Sure.
do you want to talk about comics thematically? Do you want to talk about them chronologically? Do you want to talk about, material and methods? Do you want so trying to figure all that out from now. But no, actually, I read Die before I was doing any kind of research into a comics course. It's also, though, got a huge Tolkien connection. There is it's at least one issue that is really delving into Tolkien and the relationship between war and Lord of the Rings and stuff. And it's just, it's really great. It's really, really great.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay. Should be ready to go here in just a second. Okay, good.
Necromancers, just healers with bad timing.
What?
That's solid. Okay. This guy. Yes, that is correct. I am doing Obra-Dinn today, which I keep seeing and hearing and wanting to say Obra-Di, Obra-Da, life goes on, which is not at all what
It
that's
goes
about.
on, brah.
It goes on. All right, here we go. Let's make this happen, folks, as we try to defend Celdwin. We will start with the river. You were up first. So you see the orc chieftain here, the one that spoke, is in front on his wolf. He's got his shield in front of him, and then he's got behind him this array of goblins and wolves that you can see.
Is he within range of
Not yet.
me?
He hasn't charged yet. He has not moved yet, although he looks like he's ready to.
Okay. Is this a hold your action situation? Because I don't think she can attack until he's within range through the portcullis. What time of day is it?
This is, I would say, early afternoon at this point, so probably 1 or 2 o'clock.
Is it? Wait, so is there sun out? Is it sunny?
No, it's overcast. There is a sort of a troublingly gray sky, not normal, totally.
Okay. I'm just gonna look this up again. Does it count as a dark place if it's overcast like that?
I wouldn't say that, although these are definitely, these are clearly evil creatures. I don't know whether I would call these shadow-driven yet, but perhaps whatever the force is that's behind this would be such a thing. This is definitely not, I wouldn't call this a dark place as of yet, but there is definitely, some of what you can see, in fact, above you, is what looks like swirling clouds, but as you look closer, may actually be crows. Hundreds, maybe even thousands of crows.
Oh my god. Okay, great. Okay, I was only looking this up because if it becomes sufficiently dark, then I think River will invoke the blessing of the firstborn and sing the name of Elbereth.
I'm guessing you're going to have a chance to do that. I'm guessing.
Okay, so if those crows blot out the sun, that's fine. But what she is going to do instead then is, can I make an intimidation check against this guy, against the chieftain?
Possibly. What are you going to say to him?
Did River ever learn the history of the bridge, of the white stone and stuff?
That the generations of people that lived here, their great whatever, had come originally from Dale, strong men and women from the north who actually built that bridge. And so these people feel it is kind of, you get the sense a lot of the identity of this town is focused around this bridge and the toll gate.
Okay, so River is going to call out to the chieftain and say, "Do you know why the bridge is so white beneath your feet? It's because generations of orcs' teeth and bones were polished by the people of these towns in order to build it beneath your feet. And soon you'll join them. And won't that be the best possible use that your filthy body can be put to?"
I'll have you make the intimidate check. I'm going to have you do it at -4. This guy at the moment feels overly cocky, I think would be a good way to describe it. Okay,
23 minus 4.
So 19. So he kind of, you sort of see him kind of draw his wolf back a little bit, and he kind of looks at you and then back at the goblins behind him, and then he looks forward and he says, "It's white now, but it'll be red with your blood soon enough. He seems not intimidated.
Damn it.
Yeah. May need to be softened up a bit. He's, but he, you feel like you definitely made him stop and think a minute, though. Like, that was kind of he had to search for that retort. And with that, so you're going to sort of be in place. He then charges. And with him, this group starts charging after him. They don't move quite yet, but he's going to move. So, and he moves at a very fast pace. And he has, he carries, by the way, a long spear along with his shield that he's holding in front of him. And as he comes up, he stabs through the portcullis at you, River, but again, you are going to be at 3/4 cover, which is going to be very difficult for him to fire through. What did I just say about that? Okay, +5 to AC, yes. So remember that as long as you're behind that, you're going to get a +5 bonus to your AC. So, okay, this sort of thick, heavy spear. Let's see. That's going to be makes 2 attacks with it, a 6 and a 16.
Nope.
Okay, so he stabs at it and does not, succeed. But he blows his horn, and you can see a couple of, apparently in answer to the horn, a couple of these goblins leap into the river and start struggling to swim over it.
So do I get to attack now that he's within range after holding? Oh no, I made my intimidation check. Never mind. I thought that was. I was thinking of speech as a free action, but never mind.
No, not it normally is, but not as an actual intimidate check. I do want to say though, I should have mentioned this before, that Stone does get a chance to, because you didn't roll Stone separately, right? So Stone, I didn't have Stone attack, which I guess.
Oh shit!
I don't know that he can do much of that behind a portcullis, but.
Well, what I was going to have River do, and what she would direct Stone to do, is go for the spear if it's poking through. And to actually either break it or hold it in such a way that he can't pull it back.
I will allow you to do that. If he's going to do that, be aware that it's going to undercut a little bit of his cover, because it's going to basically expose him. If he grabs onto it and the spear gets pulled back, it's going to pull him against the portcullis, so you're going to lose a little bit of the benefit of his AC. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. In that case, I will have him, let me see. How am I going to have him grab that spear? Let's have him do an attack. Okay. It's going to be an attack to grab the spear, though, not to actually do damage.
It's good. Yes, it's because he can't reach him, right? So, but the idea is
he can't reach him, but you're attacking the spear basically. He's trying to grab on.
And the idea is too, if he's pulling the spear and can pull him against the portcullis, then presumably the other people around have better reach to attack him.
Theoretically, although his pulling it back, maybe. It depends on how fast it all happens, but yes.
Okay.
So he will try to. So go ahead and have Stone make an attack, basically.
Okay. I'm also going to Stone presumably gets the D4 benefit from Songs of Slaying, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So this one time only, right? Because it's just that first attack. Yep.
It's just the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm just trying.
It's okay.
It's been a while since I'm finding the sheets. So Stone is going to bite.
Chompy.
I was waiting for that. I would say that hits.
Okay. Cool.
All right, so he's got a hold of it now. So it's not damaged now. Now, this thing is thick. You don't think the stone's going to be able to break it. But he might be able to hold it or keep him, restrict the, he's like trying to pull it back. So.
All right, I'm going to roll damage on it, but then I'm going to add the D4 to the damage. So.
Okay. I don't now. Okay, yeah, go ahead and do that.
And
so 9 total, I think.
9 plus D4.
Well, what's his attack though? What's his damage? Because your damage normally would be 1d6. Yes. What's the damage for his bite?
The damage for his bite is 1d6 plus 4.
Before we get to the other plus 4. Okay, gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's 9, and then just rolling a D4.
And 4. All right.
So it's 13 damage.
Okay. So he lights into this thing. Now, this spear is thick, and you don't think he's going to be able to break it, but you know that he's got a big grip now on this spear. And so as he pulls it back, he like bonk, bonk, and Stone is holding on. And the chieftain is cursing in multiple languages and trying to pull this thing out as the wolf. And there's this, he's pulling back as the wolf beneath him sort of is like growling almost face to face, like with Stone through the bars, obviously. But, you know, so they have this sort of wolf first dog moment while Stone holds onto that spear. So he's going to have to make a check to try to get that spear loose. In the meantime, though, he does not have a functional weapon. So good stuff by Stone for the moment.
Especially if on like another round, River was going to try and hit that spear. Like, does the spear have a hit point count? To be broken?
Yes, but it's not. This thing is it's not likely you're going to be able to break it because the angle isn't right. It's a thick spear, so you could kind of like hack away at it, but the thing is he's going to be trying to move it at the same time. You can try to continue to chop away at it until it breaks, but it seems more likely that it's going to be more effective to hold him in place and, you know, make him more vulnerable to attack / his inability to attack you would be your best guess. You can try to break it, but it looks like it's going to take a while, though.
It's cool. I was also, just while I'm being particularly persnickety about things, I don't suppose a spear counts as a small creature. No, I guess not. No. I just thought worth a try. Okay.
Okay, so okay.
I'm gonna backstab it.
Yeah,
it's a book. It has a spine, doesn't it?
I'm going to flank the spear. Okay, Hinga is up next, and Robar is on deck.
Cool.
What would you like to do?
Yeah, in that case, like the orc dude is like right underneath, like right on the gate, right? So if I was
pretty
throw
much,
down
yeah,
a
like
rock,
a few feet
then...
away, yeah.
Okay, yeah, then Inga's just gonna grab a rock and
drop it. I'm going to ask you to make then a ranged attack with this, is the equivalent of it. But you're not going to add your bow or anything to it. You're just basically, so you're just making a ranged attack, which is mostly using just your dexterity.
so
his AC is not going to be great because he's in a bad position, so for him.
So just a dex check.
Yes.
Okay. And it counts as range, you said. God damn it, otherwise I would get advantage.
Yeah, no, it's range.
Plus four because it's your first attack.
That's
yeah, it's
right.
true.
Oh yeah. Oh,
But you can choose to add it as damage or as defending.
Yeah, can you do it after? You can add it after the attack, right? After the, I believe, Song of Slaying.
Yes.
Okay.
It's either
Would
attack
10
or
hit?
damage.
10 is not going to hit. The AC is not great, but it's better than that.
Oh, but I do get 2 attacks. So.
That's. I'm not gonna. I don't know about that. I'm not gonna allow 2 attacks on this. Dropping a rock is not something you know. Your long years of training and dropping rocks on people from.
I'm a stonemason. Dropping rocks.
That's building
blood.
things, not dropping stones. No, I'm not gonna allow 2 attacks on this.
Oh boo!
But so you drop, unfortunately, so it sort of impacts next to him, and he's like as he's sort of looking above him, and then he yells at him. He's like, "Take him down!" And you see some of the goblins on the wolves drawing bows to kind of like aim up at the battlements. Inga, do you want to stay where you are at the moment and continue to drop rocks when you can?
Yeah.
Okay. Then that's going to lead us to Robar. So you now see the tactical situation before you.
Okay, I am going to take a shot at this guy on the wolf who's closest to us.
Okay.
I'm going to take 2 shots, in fact. Okay. First
Remember, we only have limited arrows.
Yeah, and
I've
actually
got a
this
bunch,
guy, so you're kind of firing. Okay, I guess you can do that. I'm trying to get.
I mean,
sense
I'll
of-
probably like spot the guy who's in the arrow slit to move. Like, I'll move.
Right. Yeah.
And then move out again.
Because he's so close to the gate, but I think you can still hit him from here.
Okay. Yeah, and also I have my own supply of arrows, presumably, which is separate
Right.
from.
Oh, okay.
Other
I thought like our
boys.
arrows included. Everybody got 12 shots.
Gotcha. Okay, so 22 for that's 8 points because he's evil.
Okay,
And
that will hit.
see, second shot will be 14.
14 is not going to hit.
Okay.
You haven't used your D4 yet. Just
Oh, yeah,
FYI.
Which you would have used on that first attack.
Oh,
you
yeah,
could, you
that's
could
true,
get
yeah.
8 plus 4 if you wanted to do the damage on that instead.
Yeah, let's do that.
So 12. All right, that's
Yeah.
a solid hit. Strikes into his shoulder. Ah! Yeah, Aradinel says, if your years of stonemasonry prepared you for swiftly dropping stones, you need a few more years of practice.
Oh,
That is,
boo.
aha! You speak the truth. Truth teller, Aradinel. All right. I assume Robar is going to stay where he is. Are you? Will?
Yep.
I guess there you are.
Yeah, I'll stay
Okay,
where I am.
that leads us to Tani. Tani, the goblins look like they are ready to charge and slash fire at as the chief that has instructed. What do you want to do?
Yeah, Tawny's basically just leaning back against something, just like
Getting ready for...
kind of, yeah.
okay.
He doesn't really have too much to do just yet, but he's keeping an eye on what's going on.
Okay. All right. Now the goblins go. These guys first. Okay. This guy swims fairly strongly across. This guy gets taken by the currents. That does not work out for him the way that he intended. They're sort of making their way across. Meanwhile, the wolves charge to about here, and these two... Let me see, actually. Let me think about this. Yeah. I think both of the... I think they're going to charge to that level, that point, and stop. And then these two goblins fire up at the battlements. And they're going to fire one at Robar, which is... Now, remember, where you folks are in the battlements, you get half cover up there. So... That is a terrible miss on both shots. So the arrows go flying way above your head, Robar. And then the ones fire at the soldiers
I'll
in
be
the
right
other
back.
battlement. One of those shots hits. Let's see about the other one. Ow. One of those shots hits, and this guy staggers back, badly wounded, like it's in his chest, and he's like sort of grabbing at his chest as he staggers back. His companions sort of step into the way, and he is... Oops, this guy. He kind of moves out of the way. And then these two... They're going to come across here. And they will also stop and fire. One at each side. So again on Robar. One is a terrible miss. The other one is going to be a... Let me see. That's a 19 to hit. Now you're going to get, because of the half cover, you're going to get +2 to your AC, Robar.
Let me see. 18 is definitely going to be a hit in that case.
Okay. So, let's see. That is going to do... All right, 3 points of damage.
Okay.
As the arrow strikes through the arrow slit. And then the other one fires, misses one terribly, but hits one on the soldier. And that guy also staggers back. So there's two injured guys, Inga, that you can... Oh, Inga's not there. Well, it's tough work up there. There's a third one who moves into place now, but there's basically two pretty badly injured guys who are sitting back of the tower right now. And these two in front are not injured. Okay. And that's going to bring us back up to the river.
Great. If she can reach the chieftain guy while Stone is pulling his spear through, she is going to attack him.
Okay, and definitely you can. Now remember, you will be, because of the spear, your disadvantage is canceled for this. So you're just attacking at normal for this.
Gotcha. Okay.
And also, actually, and let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Are you, so, because he's pulling back at the spear, with your axes, are you trying to basically poke through him using some, like, the town spear? Because I don't know that your axes are going to work based on, if you think about being behind a portcullis.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So,
I'm still imagining he's close enough that she can reach through and slash. Like.
Oh, I see. So you're literally reaching through the portcullis. Okay.
Yeah.
I will allow that, but I'll say, this is what I'll say. If you're going to do that, then you're going to lose some of the benefit of your cover. So you can it wouldn't be all gone, but it would be down to half cover instead of 3/4.
Okay, but can she not do that and step back?
If she does, well, normally that would provoke an attack of opportunity, but wouldn't in this case because Stone has got the spear.
Right.
So that's the gift that keeps on giving, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. They fight together. That's their whole thing.
Yeah, no,
So-
absolutely.
Okay, cool. Okay, so she's going in with her axes. Slash.
Okay, so we're looking at a 14 and a 12.
Yes.
Neither one of those is going to hit. There's
Curses.
the shield basically blocks both of them.
Okay.
As you do this, and you hear, "Need more practice, lass," on the other side of the shield.
God, I hate them so much.
They're always so mean.
They're just, but also, God damn it, I still don't know why this happens. When I do that, I get a thing in Roll20 that says no attribute was found for at the river global attack mod.
Yeah, I still don't understand why that's happening.
Yeah, but,
I thought
anywho.
all right. I need to make a note to try to. Did we ever get? I think I talked to you about Fender Saxby, who helped set this up, and I thought I'd maybe put you guys in touch with him, but maybe I didn't. Or
I think you did
in
mention
touch with
something.
them, I should say, but I don't.
Yeah,
think I did.
and I think we had been in the Discord, but either the problem had sorted itself out for a little while and then came back, or
Okay.
I've just been away for too long. I don't know.
Okay, I will check again. In the meantime, though,
think-
we see the rolls. So
Yeah.
Roll20 also updated recently, so it's entirely possible
Yeah.
or whatever.
Right.
the
They may
famous
have
every time
gone.
it updates, it breaks thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great.
I will check on that after the stream. Okay, so all right, so there you go. Now you are pulling back, then I assume to. Okay, so you do that, and now Stone is still holding on. Now the Orc Chieftain is going to try to make a check to pull the spear free on his turn, which is going to come right after Stone. So I don't know whether Stone. I assume Stone is just like holding on because.
Can he hold his? I mean, so yeah, I'm trying to think of how this
He
works.
can hold
mechanically.
his action if he's going to. His action is continuing to hold on to the spear if that's what he wants to do
And then it'll be a check to hold onto it on the guy's time.
on the guy's turn, and it'll be the guy doing it. Probably it'll be an imposed check, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I think he's gonna stay where he is doing
Seems
this.
to be doing some good work. So, all right. So the Orc Chieftain yanks at it, and I need Stone to make a strength check for me, please.
Okay.
As he kind of grabs it back.
So that's just clicking on strength here, straight up.
That is right. Yes, correct. And I did beat Thronebreaker, but I have not beaten Witcher Whitehunt. I played about half of it so far.
Okay. I think that will be an unsuccessful check.
Yeah, so he kind of like yanks it free. Stone like sort of bangs his head a little bit. He doesn't get hurt though, and sort of like spits out little wood chips and
Little
splinters.
curly
I have to
splinters.
say,
Yeah, exactly.
I've got so my dog's out at my parents' place. One of them is this giant white German Shepherd
Nice.
named Odin, in fact, and
Cool.
and he cannot see a log without wrapping his face around it. Like he just and so he will huge branches out because we're out in the woods and stuff, and he will just grab them and start walking around with basically half a tree
Yeah.
pointing out of his face.
Yeah,
And so I'm just basically seeing that.
that's
here.
what this is because it's a thick spear too. So
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So he pulls it clear, and since he's not moving anywhere, he is then going to stab forward. So he pulls out and then tries to stab forward again. And he actually, almost as a reaction, attacks Stone when he does it. Now, Stone has the benefit, though, of being behind the portcullis, which will give him +5 to his AC. And I don't think that's going to hit. That is a 13 and a 14.
Nope.
Okay. So both times he misses and kind of, sort of looks angrily and
River says, "Oh, you're trying to play fetch with my dog? You need some more practice."
he kind of he has no great comeback for that.
Of course he does.
You apparently have hit him with the classic orc burn.
Vicious.
Yeah, exactly. Vicious mockery. Okay, Inga's up. Robar is on deck. What would Inga like to do?
Well, if we can use our own arrows, I thought that those were part of the pool of arrows?
You can use your own arrows, although I hope, I have not made a big thing of this, but I hope that people are keeping rough track of their arrows, though.
Are the arrows?
Sure, totally.
Well, I was,
That's
and then
absolutely what I'm
Roll20
doing.
deleted my
Kitten!
numbers.
Show me the kitten that is on you. Oh my god!
Did you just
What?
notice her?
No! Hi, boss! Oh!
This is Lorelei.
Hi, Lorelei! Oh, you're so nice.
Sometimes she's nice.
Since when do you have a kitten?
For 3 weeks now, I think.
This is crucial
And the
information
stream
that
is
you guys
over.
are...
Game is over.
Disadvantage, like, you know, she just sits down and, like, starts playing with the kid in New York. Is like, what?
I'm sorry. No, but I was gonna say about arrows though. Do we still have special arrows for that? Like we were given by something or other. I vaguely remember there were special
Yes,
arrows. That
I have some special arrows. I have 8 black shale arrows, and I
That's-
wrote down what they do. Somewhere, yeah, they break upon impact, don't work on armor, do double damage.
Cool.
So I could use those on the orcs at some point.
Yeah, I was gonna say the orcs have the excuse me, have armor, but obviously the wolves do not. So
But yeah, then I am gonna shoot at the big bad orc guy, dude.
okay, you may do so.
Go for it. Yes.
Nice.
Yes!
Wow.
Yes.
That critical hit though,
Max
And
damage.
an 18.
and an 18. The 18 is also going to hit.
Oh wait, that one. Okay, so it's max damage would be. Let me see.
11.
Ah, thank you, Wise Growth. Robar has been inspired for his turn, which is coming in just a moment.
Yes.
Wait.
Thank you, Wise Growth.
I think your max damage is 11. It's 1d6 plus 5, right, for the short bow?
6 plus 2.
Oh.
Well, for the short bow she shot. If you mouse over the damage that she
Yeah.
rolled,
Yeah, that's
Damage
all
is
right.
1d6 plus 2.
Oh. Okay.
Yep. So, all right. So 8 plus whatever damage you roll. So one of them is max damage, and the other one you have to roll. So,
Okay, well I rolled one of them, so it's 8 plus.
Okay. What is that 4 plus 5 that I'm looking at?
Yeah, that's what I
that's
was.
the damage for the second attack.
But
No, I rolled it for the. No, never mind. So I rolled.
So
Like I accidentally clicked the first
I was gonna say
one.
that is not 1d6 plus 2.
Yeah.
So I rolled a 4, so it's 8 and 6.
Okay.
So,
So 14 total. All right.
yeah.
Okay, that definitely does some serious damage, and he looks now much less smug. Like, "Argh!" He's kind of like pulling arrows at himself, blood kind of dripping.
Hey, looks like it's
Everywhere.
gonna be your blood on the White Bridge, huh?
I'll smear you in mine before I kill you and eat what's left, he says, growling up at
Thanks,
the
but no
at the-
thanks. That sounds unhygienic.
I'll hide you, but no, he doesn't say that. Okay, that leads us to Robar. Robar, you have been inspired, if you wish to use it.
Ah, I certainly do. Oh, maybe I should save it. I don't know. How bad is this guy looking?
He looks, I mean, not close to death yet, but he's been smacked around quite a bit. His wolf is still completely,
He's blooded.
All right, I'm gonna save the inspiration for now because there's gonna be a moment where I'm about to die and need it. I can sense.
I just have this feeling.
Yeah, it happens every battle. So I'm just gonna try and shoot this guy while he's being taunted.
Okay,
Twice. So, oh damn, a 14.
14 will miss.
Shoot. Oh my god.
9 will also miss.
All
Clank,
right,
clank
this is
against the bridge.
this is all too familiar.
He gets in the heroic shots.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Robar is
This
also
is the
there.
day that you're going to be able to swim like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
right.
dive from the battle.
I'm about to dive in. Yeah.
Oh man, you get a 10 from the Russian judge.
Body surf on the orcs.
There you go.
Stage diving.
No,
from
yeah,
the
that's right. Mosh
Palace.
pit.
At least I didn't use the inspiration on
Oh
that.
god, hope there's
alright?
not a mosh pit. That would be bad.
That would be
Like
crazy.
like stage diving into a mosh pit is suicide.
Yeah.
So better not.
Especially as the orcs just step out of the way, just face plant on the bridge. All
I'm
right.
just like imagining like
Crossbow.
Amon Mars is playing in the background, you know.
Exactly.
Pretty sure Gimli pulled it off, and they had pikes.
That, yes.
He just jumps into them.
Power of plot armor. All right, Tani is up next. Tani, are you still just hanging out? Like,
Kind of. He's basically like, anybody need help?
But there are
You
people
hear
who
there
injured
are
people.
people that are wounded up in the battlements, but you hear yelling and screaming from up in the tower, Tani. But so it's up to you. Kind of crowded up there too, but
Yeah, and he's not exactly a tiny dude. Well, he would have.
his name is not Tiny Bear. That is
No,
very...
it's not.
Now it is.
Exactly.
Tiny Bear.
No, stop it. Okay. Now he all part of the preparation would have also been to tell people, if you get to a point where you can no longer fight, come and see me. So he's basically got his stuff set up down there, but he's, like I said, he keeps glancing over through the portcullis to make sure that there isn't a goblin going, here, hold this, pink, and
Right.
Shooting arrows at him.
All right. Speaking of the goblins, this one they're going to try to make their way across. This guy is definitely the Michael Phelps of goblins. He, continues to just proceed like at top speed. This one manages to catch himself and get across. They are heading across, and you can see for yourself where they are. These ones are going to fire. One is going to fire up at you in half cover. So that's a terrible roll. That one is an 18, though. Is the 18 now? Remember, because of half cover, you have +2 to your AC, Inga. Will an 18 hit you?
That's sort of like a
18.
22.
Yes, that will hit.
Even with the +2 AC?
Oh, it's +2.
Because you have half cover.
Wait, is it like equal or above? Because I have
Equal
8
hits. So
equal hits, then yes, it is.
Okay. All right, that's going to be 4 points of damage as you are struck.
No. Oh wait, we were fully healed, weren't we?
No.
Nope.
You were.
You're like, all right, maybe a little more. Oh no.
You were. Several of
I
us
was.
were not.
Okay, so.
You were at 34. I had you at, so you should be at 30 now.
Oh, okay, that was the question because.
Yeah, you were at 34 out of 40. Going into this.
Okay. Oh no.
Okay.
Don't taunt the monkeys, Johnny.
All right. All right. The second one's going to fire at you, Robar, through the.
You just called Arf a monkey.
Yeah, listen, my life is interesting. Okay. Robar, who suddenly is not there.
He's there.
Are you there? I just see his camera was off. So it seems. All right. Well, when he gets back, he's going to be dealing with a 16 and a critical hit. So we will.
Both hit. I think. Let me double check his stuff. His AC is 14.
Okay. Yeah. So that was.
Wait. Is that like
Plus
because
2.
like
+2. Yep.
So 16.
So 16. He did get a 16.
what if his AC glitches out? Oh, there he is. Like
There you
ask him because
My
like for me
AC
my
is,
AC keeps glitching out. So.
Yeah, I just fixed it, so my AC is 14.
Oh.
Okay,
plus two
plus
is
the
16.
2 for the cover is a 16. Okay, so he hits you twice. Once normally with a 16, and the other one is a critical hit. So that's a total of 9 points of damage, Robar, from those 2 strikes. As you were hit twice, and the goblin sort of cheers as he sees you stagger back. Exactly.
I've been Boromir. I've got 3 arrows in me right now.
Yeah, he does the thing where he's like, like on the like does the nod on the bridge or whatever. Except he's not an Urukai, so it looks kind of ridiculous. But okay, and then the other 2. So those are the front 2 that fired. The other 2 are going to. I think they're actually going to fire from there also because that's what their leader had told them to do. So they will fire twice more. Yeesh, this is not a good round, Robar. 21 and a 19.
Yep, and yep.
All right, that's going to be another 4 points of damage from those 2 shots.
Tommy!
Need help!
It's okay. I'm technically only just bloodied. So
Just spamming E on the keyboard,
Yeah, exactly.
Medic!
I'm down here.
And then on you, Inga, we have a 19 and a 20, not natural.
Yeah, those both hit.
These are good shots from the goblins. I'm
Even
proud
with
of the
the
goblins. I
plus
mean,
2?
it's terrible what is happening. 10 points of damage from those 2. 6 and 4
What-
points of damage.
What is Inga's natural AC?
16.
Plus 2 for the cover. so
Okay,
18.
yeah, I just thought it was higher than that.
No.
I mean,
Sadly not.
16 is a solid AC, in fairness.
Yeah, I know. I just thought she was wearing plate or something.
No.
Yep.
She is. What is she wearing? Let me check. Do I even have it written
Okay.
down?
In the meantime, that brings us back up to the top.
Oh wait, how many points of damage do I get?
That was 10 from those 2 shots, so you
Okay.
should be down to 20 if we're
Yes.
on the right track. And that brings us back up to the river. You see now several of the townspeople reach through and fire off several shots, and a couple of them, one of them anyway, hits this back goblin, and he kind of staggers back and already looks pretty hurt. So these guys do not look overly strong on the back of these smaller wolves back here. Okay, River, you're up.
The
Oh, go on. Sorry.
what? Okay.
No, go on.
The swimming goblin.
Yes.
Right. It looks like so. It's if it makes it to shore, it'll just be able to walk around the portcullis. There's
Unclear.
no wall.
Unclear. The wall of the portcullis, the wall of the toll gate is rough. You don't know exactly what it's going to do when it gets there, but it could walk around the gate. It could. Yeah, that's not clear.
Okay. And I'm not super clear on whether or not she can see that goblin from where she is.
She would not be able to because it's below the
Okay.
level of the bridge. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because you got your good friend in front of you here. That.
Yeah. So. Okay, she's just going to basically, I guess, keep trying to attack this guy in front of her through the portcullis.
Okay.
But so he's managed to pull back, right?
He has now, yes. And tried to stab again, but was not successful.
And did he then withdraw his spear?
He did. That was all in one action, though.
Right.
So,
but
he
that
seems-
didn't provoke an attack of opportunity from
Not
Stone?
in this case, because the spear that he's stabbing with, he was trying to attack Stone at the same time. If he
Okay.
attacks again, Stone is basically, how do I put this, reset. So he could then try to take advantage of that again, basically attack. So because Stone is not getting damaged, but he is getting bashed against the portcullis, which makes it harder for him. So he will get another shot at grabbing the spear if the orc chieftain stabs through the portcullis, which seems likely.
If River uses a spear, what are the mechanics of that? If she just grabs one from someone else nearby?
It would be, so you would be basically using, you'd be making a regular strength attack, like just a plain old regular strength attack. You would not be doing it based on dexterity, which is what you use your axes with. This would be strength. And you'd be basically stabbing through.
Yeah.
You would be doing it at disadvantage because you are doing it from behind the portcullis.
Right.
But, it's a spear, which is better suited maybe than an axe would be.
Oh, no, but it's okay. I mean, she's going to be at disadvantage in this case anyway.
Yeah.
She may as well just use her axes.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to actually translate the visuals of the situation into mechanics. So forgive me for continuing to vocalize this, but so can she hold her action until this guy attacks again, so that
in an attempt to try to grab the spear, you mean?
in an attempt to just have access to hitting him not at disadvantage, basically.
That's not there's
Like,
no way to
if
do
he-
that. The reason you have 3/4 cover is because you're behind the portcullis.
Right, but what I'm saying is if he is in any way, I guess I'm saying if a situation happens where if she can switch with Stone, so that Stone can grab the spear again and give her access to hitting him because he's pulled against it. Is that something that holding an action achieves, or?
Yeah, if Stone grabs the spear but attempts to pull the orc chieftain forward, basically, so not just grab the spear but try to literally pull the dude forward and the wolf with it. First of all, that's going to be tough. But if he's able to do it, then I would say you could probably get an attack on him that would be sort of a normal attack. But I have to warn you, that's going to be hard because the guy is also still on the back of his wolf. So it's going to be hard to pull him, I have a lot of admiration for Stone, but that's a lot to ask. So
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to circumvent your every idea, but it's just this is
No,
one of
no.
the reasons you have the defensive bonuses you do is because of the nature of this thing. So
No, I know. I'm just trying to figure out like what to like do, like what the like the logic of the actions here and stuff.
I mean, you guys have been hitting him. I will say also. Remember, I mean, like they've literally hit him a couple times with arrows. You've hit, so you're kind of occupying him. Is the other thing.
Okay.
So, we'll let that
Okay, we're just gonna keep on straight attacking, I guess. So she's just going to keep on attempting to attack however she can, even at disadvantage through the portcullis.
Okay, you can make that happen. Let's see it. Let's see it occur. Okay, so we're talking 15 and a 14. Neither one of those are going to hit. The 15 sort of swing, he just kind of barely pulls his, himself out of the way as you kind of try to swing at him from the portcullis. And as far as the held action is concerned, again, remember, if he stabs through, Stone can try to grab the spear after he does it. So he'll try to attack, and then Stone could try to grab the spear at that point. So if you want Stone to do that. But I'm guessing you do because, I don't know, that worked for you last time. So
It did. This is why I wanted to reverse the order of those actions so that just like all of it could happen at the same time.
So that Stone goes first and grabs it, and then you. But
yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'd say you can do that. It's.
It's only the only reason I'm proposing it this way is so that it's not so that the order of it isn't. I attack, then Stone grabs the spear, then we wait a whole round until. Do you know what I mean?
So this is what I'll say: if you want to drop your turn order to behind the Orc Chieftain, you can do that.
Okay.
So in other words, the Orc Chieftain goes, and then you can react. Do you follow what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
that's new spot in the turn order, though. Just be aware. Like,
I mean, that's the thing. Like that's all I wanted to achieve with like hold action stuff.
Okay, but hold action is not the same thing. This means you're literally dropping your turn behind him so that you can then act the way that you want to. It's not just a single action.
Your initiative will change.
Right, your initiative order will change. So it's more than just holding an action.
Right.
You're not able to do what
I think
you
that's
want to do
okay.
as a hold action, but dropping behind initiative order is fine. I'm happy
Yeah.
to do that. So with that said, I'll allow you to re-roll that then when he stabs. So let's make his attack, and then you can re-roll that attack.
Great.
So he will attempt to do this again. This time he's going to aim at you, not at Stone.
Okay.
And so he stabs through with his spear. And remember, you have that +5 AC, so that's going to be an 18 and a 14.
Nope.
Okay. So again, he misses. The portcullis continues to frustrate him. And now you have a chance to basically have Stone grab the spear and then have you attack. So let's see if Stone can do it first. No, Stone's got to land an attack first to do this.
Go Stone.
Yeah, absolutely. So he does grab onto the spear. I don't think you need to worry about damage for now because you're not trying to break it.
Right.
So he's got it held onto. Now you can try to attack him, and I'll say that this cancels your disadvantage on him for the moment.
Okay. Thwok.
Yes, both will hit.
Woohoo! Okay.
Okay.
It's 10.
All right, so total damage is 10. Now he's starting to look pretty hurt. As you slash at him, more blood comes, and he...
Oh, it looks like you bleed red, too. I feel so close to you right now.
Shut up, it's more of a burnt ochre.
And actually, he is, like, his face is kind of, like, smashed up against the portcullis, so you can see his ugly teeth, and, like, his breath is, like, foul as he, breathes at you.
We'll definitely have to work on those teeth before they add them to the bridge, though.
He seems very unhappy. And that is going to lead us to Inga and then Robar. You are muted.
Oopsie. So I see the goblin swimming up on the right side of the bridge, bottom side, whatever.
Yeah, on the eastern side of the bridge, basically.
Side of the bridge. Okay.
Yes, I would say that you can see not this one here, but I would say that you could probably see this one. Going to be a tough shot because it's moving quickly with the current.
No. I'm thinking of like running down and like basically meeting them melee.
Okay.
Question is if I can run that far.
Let's see. you'll be able to get out of the tower to say here this turn. And
Get
then,
a quick flyby heal from Tawny.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, and if you want to try to basically double move it, 25.
Hands of healing.
You could get here if you did nothing but move, Inga.
Okay.
The whole turn is the move.
Then I'm gonna get down here. Hopefully, get some healing from Tawny while I'm down here, and then keep on.
All right.
Moving. Oh wait, can I get a shot out before I move? Because I'm not doing a double move.
Yeah, you can do a shot and then.
Oh yeah. Then I'm doing that.
Okay. You're aiming at the big guy again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously.
Okay.
Do I get a bonus again, or?
This is not a bonus. This is just going to be your regular, normal attack.
So 16.
16 will hit.
And another 16.
Also will hit. That one misses. No, I'm just kidding.
So 13.
Okay, he's now looking really hurt. And just like sort of staggering back and forth and kind of like, blood pouring from everywhere. Okay, and now you book it down there, and that leads us to Robar.
Just looks like a Cannibal Corpse cover.
Yeah, basically. Robar, this guy is not in good shape.
I'm going to spend one more turn up here before I go and seek some healing energies.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and take a double shot.
Okay, go ahead.
At old Stinkface.
Shot!
22.
Okay, 22
Nice.
will hit for sure.
Actually, 12 points of damage because he's evil.
Yeah.
Okay, that
He's
12
a son of a
points of
gun.
damage, you pierce him through the throat, and he just sort of, his hand kind of drifts down the portcullis, and he expires, and his wolf sort of growls fiercely and steps back. Now, the wolf is not subject to an attack because he was not, through the portcullis. So he sort of steps back a few steps, and you hear a couple of gasps from up on the bridge. And a cheer goes up from your defenders.
Eat that! And I'll shoot at the wolf with my second attack.
Okay.
22 again.
Nice.
Did we talk about whether an attack action with 2 attacks or whether you can split the attack, Will? Did we talk about this?
Let's look it up. I'm pretty sure it means you can make 2 attacks.
All right, if you want to split I just want to make sure we're clear.
We can look up extra attack because it's been so long since I've actually played D&D.
Meanwhile, this wolf is like, he's got his blood in my fur. Oh, God, get it off. Get it off.
He's finally free.
Do you know how expensive dry cleaning is?
Exactly.
I can't just jump in the river. Do you know what'll happen? I will wind up whatever the sea is called. I will end up down there.
Whatever the sea is called. I'll end up in the big place. I don't know what that means.
Some stupid seagull keeps calling it big water. I don't know what that means.
Oh, I love it. Oh,
10.
man.
10 points
You
of damage.
Mr. Pigvig. Okay. All right, say again.
10 points of
10
damage.
Okay. 10 points of damage. So this guy is gone. Okay. All right. So that strikes the wolf, and it growls fiercely as the arrow pierces its side. Okay. Right. Okay, and that is... All right, that is going to be Robar's turn. You're staying where you are, Robar?
I am for now, yeah.
Okay, Tani, you're up. You see Inga standing in front of you, looking kind of hurt.
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
All right up there. Any of those orcs need healing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I think the chief is like beyond healing at this point, but
You're not
all
gonna
right.
get any worse.
so like I got like all this like red stuff pouring out of like this hole here.
You know, you actually need that. Let me put some back in you. So, you will do an improved healing.
Classic battlefield healing banter.
Absolutely. That's the way this works.
That's what made Saving Private Ryan a totally different movie.
Yeah, just a smidge. But he actually doesn't have this conversation with Inga. He's just, while he's bandaging, he turns to one of the kids that's not too far away.
Who looks open, like wide-eyed.
And is like, do you have any fishing nets?
Yeah, down by the dock, sir. Yes.
We might need those.
And the sort of child nods and kind of rushes off, like keeping their head low, like looking across the bridge. Okay, so 10 points.
Put a tourniquet
10
around
points of healing. Sweet.
around Inge's neck, and
And then you're.
stop the bleeding.
The bleeding stops from the head.
It keeps all the blood up in the brain where it's useful.
This is great. Thanks for your assistance.
The entire body looks like just, not Baruka salt, the other one. Violet Beauregard just
Or
keeps...
for instance, like
yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China, like that is the,
Okay, not the movie I was talking about, but thank you. No, but Tawny makes sure that Inge hears his suggestion about fishing nets.
Okay.
'Cause-
I hear ya.
Okay, good.
Gonna go fish myself some weird fish, huh?
Okay. So this one now.
I heard Goblin is in season.
This one is still here. This other one gets to the bank and disappears from sight. So I put them there, but you don't actually 100% know what they're doing. But they are.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Let's see. Okay, and then these two are going to fire at the ones that they see through the arrow slits. So, ouch. Okay, so this one here is struck through the head by an arrow and goes flying backwards and hits the ground dead. And one of the last non-wounded one from that tower comes up. And then this one over here.
I just want to. I feel like I'm being so annoying this game, but and then this is several rounds ago now. But did you use a D4 for any of them in their roles?
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I
just
did.
making sure.
That was what you may remember that one of them got hit before.
Yes,
And
yes.
they're not very good archers, so that
Bless.
+4 was really valuable.
Okay, cool,
To
awesome.
hit them, yes. No, I didn't forget.
Okay.
Although that's now expired because they
Oh,
all
super.
got
Yeah,
their-
absolutely.
Although the two in back actually have not used their the one who moves up now actually gets that attack now because they hadn't had a chance to attack. Everyone else has fired, but the two that are up at the slits now have not yet. And actually, it's good timing because it's time for them to go. So they will fire away. Okay, so the one on the eastern side is going to miss, but the western side guy actually hits, and you'll be happy to know, because of your +4,
Yay!
kills that goblin. So the goblin goes, the one that had already been hit, so goes flying back over the back of the wolf and lands on the bridge, and the wolf sort of growls and moves forward. Okay, and that takes care of them. Again, a shout goes up. And alrighty, that brings us down, or up to, I should say, this wolf. And so the wolf sort of takes a step back and then very suddenly leaps over the side of the bridge into the water and begins swimming.
Ho ho. And that's
I made the right call by going downstairs, didn't I?
Yeah, that's apparently so. That's something that River could see.
Yes,
Right?
definitely you see the wolf doing that. And remember that this is a flat-edged bridge, so you're able to see him disappear. His tail vanishes at a certain point he drops out of sight when he gets in the river, but you did see him
Right.
do that, yes. For
Okay,
sure.
and what is River like staring down now, looking at?
Now you are looking at 3 goblins on 3 wolves and 1 goblin-less wolf that's the back. You also think you see movement on the far hill, but you can't quite make out what it is yet. Because there's crow, and I should have mentioned this. I mentioned the crows before. Crows continue to swirl, not just in the sky, but down and around the front of the hill, almost as if they're like. It's very odd and clearly not natural, but it almost looks as if it's like they're creating their kind of, I don't know, almost like an artificial fog of war.
Now that's a storm crow.
Exactly. Exactly.
Is it any darker?
It is not darker, not yet.
Okay,
No.
cool. Okay, is that the wolf's action?
That was the
then?
wolf's action, and so that leads us to stone in the river.
Okay. So
What's up? Wait, sorry. What's up, Trent?
Since that healing Inga was my first attack, do I get to put the +4?
I don't
On
think
that
that's not an attack, though.
yeah, let me double check if it said
Song
attack
of
or
healing would be a different. You're
Yeah.
slaying those wounds.
So,
Slay the
songs
pain.
of slaying.
Slay!
Pain is the sound of slaying leaving the body.
No, that's
Yeah, no,
not
it's
like the
it's
type
definitely for attack and damage.
No problem.
Yeah.
Only, but
You could have attacked her
He
if you
did
wish. and done more
negative damage.
Attack her and then heal her.
I will say, so I've got one warden die left,
Okay.
and it is possible for me to gift that die through, words, music, or presence alone. So I can give 1d8 to a person of my choice still. Just
Okay. And
putting-
remember, you folks have those 3 preparation dice. Now, those have to last through
yeah.
the entire battle, though, and this is only
We're
the
almost
beginning
done.
of
It's
it.
fine.
Yeah.
So, be
Yeah,
aware.
no, that's great. Basically, what River is going to do right now, though, is seeing the wolf go back. She's like, "Oh, shit, right." Maybe that's a thing that. So she and Stone are going to book it in the direction that the warg went, also.
okay.
But I just want to look and see whether that feasibly. If she's going to be in direct confrontation, yeah, I think she will also, because she's not going to get there in one turn, right?
Let me see, 5, 10. She might get there in one. Well, I mean, she could get to it depends on where she's going. She could get to the other side of this tower, like if you're going down here by in one turn, yes. Because you're on the
Okay.
ground floor, remember? So
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Which helps.
Okay. She wouldn't stop to get healing. That's just not her. So yeah, she'll just book it to there with Stone.
okay. When you get down there, go ahead and just move your if you wouldn't mind moving them down there, Mel. When River gets down to the tower, you and Stone are I don't know what you are, but you see that the goblin who has reached the bank is already climbing the tower on a rope. It looks like there's a rough grappling hook that they use to sort of throw up to the roof, and he is now probably a good 10 feet in the air, you would guess, as he climbs up. Now, none of of course, all the soldiers are looking out, towards the other way, and there's no slits on this side, and he seems to be heading towards the roof.
How high can Stone jump?
I don't know. I need to think about how high a greyhound can jump, I suppose.
Well, I mean, he's at a wall, so if he has like
I was
Don't-
wondering if he
difficult
can
a running
run.
distance.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if he can
Then
run
run
and
up the
jump
wall.
to bite that guy, he totally will.
Yeah, I'm
but-
trying to think if he could get, but 10 feet up, though.
It's called parkour, okay?
Oh, my God.
Get out!
That is quality. Parkour.
Disadvantage of all your next rolls.
Hey, I'm healing. Don't do that to yourself.
Canine's Creed.
While that question.
Oh.
Oh no! Oh no! That was bad. That was so bad.
Thank you. I'll be
You
here all
look
week.
so.
So this was a nice stream. I'll be going.
Yeah. But anyway, regardless of what your decision on that is, River will absolutely shout a warning up to the people that the orc is climbing towards.
Okay. Is that any better, Okarun? Thank you. I don't know. It says my voice was much quieter, and I want to make sure I'm not shouting, because sometimes I hear that and then it sounds like I'm shouting later on when I listen. Okay. So I'm sorry, Amal. Please say that again. I was.
Oh, no worries. I was just saying that regardless of decision stone jumping, River will shout a warning as
Okay.
she sees the
Yes, I would say so. Okay, so according to Reddit, a greyhound can jump about 6 feet high. Yeah, I mean, I think that probably Stone could maybe, if I pushed it, get 8 feet. I don't think he can get up 10 feet in the air.
because he is big. He's a hound of Markwood, but that's fair.
He is very, very big, but that wouldn't necessarily make him jump any higher. In fact, if anything, it might make it, him a little
That's
bit
true.
heavier.
Would-
He's awesome, trust me, but
He's so great. No, but he wouldn't be able to like reach a leg or anything. Like the
No.
the last of the guys.
the 10 feet in the air is the bottom of him. He's climbing extremely quickly. You wonder if this isn't what he's like. He's a mountain goblin, and you wonder if this isn't
Yeah.
his thing,
Yeah, no, that's fair. And yeah, they're just That's what they're good at. Anyway, but she will definitely shout a warning as she also like is that warg within reach of attack? Or
I would say not unless you like I don't know threw an axe at it, but it's in the water, swimming. You guess about 25 feet away, maybe 30 feet away. So
Okay.
I mean you could get to it, but it would be like a double move. You know, you could sort of get to the bank where it is if you want.
Nah. No, I think she'll shout that warning and then like wait to attack it if it comes up.
Okay. That sounds like a plan. So that's going to lead us to Inga's up next with Robar on deck.
How far can I run and still attack?
So you could go 25 feet,
Okay.
if you want, which would be right
And
about
like
to
each
where the
vehicle-
river is.
Okay, so I can't attack from there.
You could
No,
go to
although
the
you could.
portcullis and shoot through it.
I was gonna say, or you're right, exactly. Yeah, you could do that. You could go to the portcullis, shoot through it. You could, depends on where you were headed. If you were headed to,
Well,
sort of
I
go
was
around-
headed like to where river is, basically.
You could go to where river is, and then you could shoot up because I mean you're going 25 feet, and then you could shoot up in the air at the thing if you want.
Yeah.
So I can go here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then I'm doing that.
Okay. And
Awesome.
you see this creature halfway up the wall, and you can see we're more than halfway now, and you can see there's also a warg in the river.
How did that one get in there?
You jumped off the bridge.
No, I mean river.
Oh.
Haha.
How did the warg get in there?
Oh, the warg in there. Okay, so go ahead and fire away.
Yeah. I'm just
Um,
keep misclicking my windows here
That's okay.
because I'm clumsy. 20
Yeah, that'll hit.
and 22.
Wow. 2 hits.
I like these.
Mm-hmm. Oh. 8.
Okay. So, all right, I'm going to have him make a check because that's a lot of damage for him. We're going to see if he can hold on.
Fall. Drop.
Yes, please get
No,
fall
he sure
damage.
can't.
Yes!
So he loses grip on the rope, and falls back, and you hear this sickening crack as he hits the ground, and he lies still. Okay. Good work. And let's see.
River
Da, da, da,
does
da.
whatever the setting appropriate equivalent of a high five is.
Yeah.
All right, that leads us to let's see, Robar with Tani on deck.
All right. Can I see this?
From where you are, you can. Yes.
Okay.
It's going to be a
let's
little
shoot
bit
it.
of a tough shot for you. You're going to be doing it at -2 because it's going pretty quick because of the river, etc.
Okay, let's give it a shot. 18.
-2. Yes, that will hit.
For 8 points of damage.
Okay. That is so. I'm going to do the same. Okay, it does manage to not slip in the current, but it looks very hurt.
Okay, second shot is going to be a 18 as well.
Hit.
Nice.
For 11 points
Oh
of damage.
yeah, its body just disappears below the screen as you hit it twice.
Okay.
Down it
I'm
goes.
gonna move action, and I say to the guys in here, keep on him, and I'm gonna get some healing, and I'm gonna move action over to Tony if I can get there.
Okay.
Looks like I can.
Let me see. So 5 times. I think yeah, that's about where you could get after that
Yeah.
attack. Okay, Tani, you're up. You're not quite in range of Robar, but of course you could move up to him if you wish.
I mean, sure, yeah.
You look at him. What do you want? Like, I need healing.
Want
yo.
healing, you come to me. That's what I said. Not over there. You come over here.
You need healing. I need a Ferrari. All right, everyone needs something.
Congratulations. I'll go ahead and tourniquet his neck as well.
Okay. I like how every injury involves danger to the neck.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a vital system. There
Oh,
are a
no,
lot
it
of
is. I mean, listen,
important blood
I
vessels
know
that
indeed.
go through there.
Welcome, Thunderhawk. This is so cool. I agree.
15
Players.
points of healing.
Wow, look at you.
Oh, I feel so good.
Jeez.
I'm not even worried about those arrows in me anymore.
Oh, right. Well, see, right now they're tapping the blood flow, so don't mess
I
with
was gonna say these are your band-aids right now.
Just break them off at the skin. It's like this is gonna sting a little. Oh!
Okay. All right. So you do that.
You could pull him out and shoot him back at him if you want to. But
I was thinking about that.
don't
Okay.
actually do that.
Now the bad guys get to go. So we will start Okay, he moves on a different turn, so these guys are going to take 2 shots. Let me see.
Mal, I
That's a miss.
believe that is pronounced. Maybe one or two more syllables than required. It's the accent that makes it difficult.
There's my brother-in-law has been studying Scottish Gaelic for several years and has an absolutely adorable, like, red labradoodle that he named Furlan, which I think is written like this, and I'm just going, yeah, you know, just the writers of Rohan are very Celtic-y, so why not?
Okay, so you hear a shout of dismay as one of the soldiers up here has been shot and killed again. The other ones had missed. And so that is going to bring us up to the top with this wolf. And so it swims, and as it sees the bank, so it gets to the bank, it was close already, and then it lopes, so it sees you. Actually, let me see, what is it going to do? It sees you, and it's just going to basically charge right towards you, Inga. So you were a target that is in its way. Okay, so that is going to be...
Ooh, does that mean that we can move into a flank position on our turn, potentially?
Ooh, yeah!
Theoretically, yes.
Awesome.
Although it'll be interesting because you'll be right next to the river as you do this, but that is quite functional and possible. Okay, this one is what I'm looking at. Right, okay. So it runs up and attempts to leap on you. Inga, the first one is going to be a 13. Now again, you don't have your cover bonus this time.
Nope.
The other one is an 11, so that's both of those are pretty bad. Okay, so it does not do what it was hoping to do. It is now Stone's turn.
Wait.
Because we moved you around, so you're behind Stone. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You could have Stone wait till after you.
Okay. Well, so what I want both Stone and River to do is to move into a flanking position around.
Okay.
And
who's standing where? Who do you want? Where do you want him to be?
I think Stone would come here. Well, so it's tricky with the corner of this tower.
Right.
I'm not, like, basically I'm imagining that, like, is
to really get a flank, he'd have to end up here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think.
So, like, if you position them like that, for example, that would
right.
work.
But so the river itself doesn't act as a barrier in the flank, then.
No, in fact, the barrier, theoretically, the creature could try to overbear you into the river, I suppose.
That's what I was imagining, the river as a barrier, and that, like, being on the side and having the tower.
No, because that's not, because the flanking assumes that a creature is trying to attack you from behind. If anything, it would want to have its back to an area that would be protective. Like, it's not going to get attacked by the river. It's going to be attacked by you, the river. It's not going to be attacked by the running river.
Right. You have to be harried by 2 targets.
There you go. Exactly.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's fair. But yeah, so we're gonna flank it like this and attack. So.
It's large, growling, sort of, huge, definite warg from the wild, for sure.
So Stone gonna
attack. Newspaper from its holster.
10 is not going to hit.
Oops. Oops. Sorry, I've done a bad thing. What have I done? I clicked something.
A bad thing.
That was Stone's attack, I think. I think it looks fine. Yeah.
Okay, no, I clicked out of the Roll20 window somehow.
So unfortunately, Stone does not hit, but you can, but you may make your.
Okay, great, gotcha. And so that's, and now the river is gonna go, with her axes.
Okay, so thanks to the flank, you're actually going to hit with both of those. So you are going to hit with because you're basically going to be doing an advantage.
Oh wait, but
23. Stone doesn't get the benefit of it.
Oh, he doesn't. I do. Okay,
no,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he will miss, but you will hit with yours, both yours. And would not have with either one had you not had this flank. So
right, exactly.
these are all good things. All right. Okay. That still looks hurt, but okay-ish.
Okay.
Okay. And that's going to lead us to Inga.
Aha. Do I also get the flanking bonus?
Yes.
Sweet.
He's being harried.
And I
He's
think we
surrounded.
already talked about this last time. Like, I don't get my. Oh wait, it doesn't matter. I would get advantage anyway. Never mind.
Why would you get advantage anyway?
No, because of the flag. I was just
Oh, yeah.
my bonus against like goblin and their kind counts here. But, like,
Gotcha.
doesn't matter because I already have advantage. So. Check 1, 24. Does that hit?
Yep, for sure.
That's a 17 hit.
17 hits too, yep.
Woohoo!
This guy is not so much on the armor.
So that would be a 15.
Okay. That is a lot of damage. Now it's looking pretty hurt. You have hurt it a
Still
lot.
alive?
Yep. It's a strong creature. This is not a typical ordinary wolf. Okay, that leads us to Robar.
Oh boy, okay. Well, I'm healed up. Well, he seems to have things under control over there. I'm going to join these guys in here. And if I can, try and get some shots on the archers.
Okay. Yeah, you can see that the two guys, there's two dead guys in there, and the two guys that are left are pretty hurt. So,
yeah,
as you get up there,
I'll help them out. At least try to.
Okay.
And try and shoot this gobbo over here.
Okay.
Come on. Oh, not 20.
Wow. Yep.
Don't mind if I do. That'll be +2 to that, so 21 points of damage.
Wow, you just annihilate him, just blow him back over his wolf.
And he explodes.
Yeah, his body hits the river, and the wolf is left. You can see the other two are starting to look a little nervous.
No. Does that mean that he's like, let the bodies hit the flow?
Oh no!
Really? Okay. The other two
second.
look nervous.
We came to slay, bitches. Sorry.
This goblin over here will take a 8, so I missed. Second shot. But hey, first one's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think you ever used that inspiration, incidentally.
I haven't used it yet.
Yeah.
But I may.
Okay. Let's see. That leads us to Tani, and I'm watching the time, Amel. Don't worry.
Oh no worries. I also have a little bit longer than 1:30 today.
Oh.
I've got to run
But
right on
1:30
1:30.
is still a very good time to stop. So just
Okay. All right. So Tani is up next.
All I'm saying is that, if you were to combine, and no, but he's yeah, he's gonna keep staying prepared.
He's going to stay and prepare.
Pretty much. I mean, just continue to be ready just in case he needs to go either running to Robar or because he can only do that healing thing 5 times. So
Okay.
it's difficult to say that these people are worth it. I mean,
Wow. Okay. So then the bad
We were willing
guys
to save
go.
Stony first, so
Right. Exactly.
people are definitely worth it.
I've only got 3 more of those, so we need to be.
save 2.
So 2 are gonna. Okay, so the goblins go. The wolves are gonna stay where they are. The goblins are going to fire 1 towards Robar, 1 towards the person on the other side. We're talking a 13 and a 14 Robar, which I don't think is gonna hit you this time, right?
What's that?
And then the other one is okay. One of these is going to hit. So this guy is injured, although not dead. So he staggers back and allows someone else to take his place. And that brings us up to the top. The wolf is going to get its attack. It's got a lot of people to look at, so it's going to look around and is going to decide to attack Ingo, which it originally went to attack.
You can try.
Talking a 14 and a 10. Yeah, not so much. Stone is up. So Stone, I assume, is going to try to get his attack as per usual.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and make your attack.
I am untouchable.
Bite.
Stone leaps over and bites it. Oh my
Oh!
god.
Yes.
Damn.
Yes. I forget what his max damage is.
Should I just roll it to see what the sequence
Yeah,
is?
go ahead, and then we'll just make that max, whatever that is.
So it is 1d6 plus 4. So, wow, that's pretty close.
Good God.
Wait, no, yeah, 1d6.
Plus
wait.
4?
Does that make sense?
How can you roll a 9 on a d6?
It says maybe that's the plus 4 is from the crit. I don't know. It does say that it says 1d6 plus 4, and then.
Yeah, that's right.
So it should be.
So it should be 10.
Should be 10.
Right.
Except, why does it say 9?
I have no idea, but that is inaccurate.
You rolled a
1d6.
5. You rolled a 5 plus 4.
No, I rolled
9.
I rolled a 4, which is why. Oh.
No.
But so it just seems like the plus 4 piercing is separate. I don't know why.
No. It's like not plus 4 piercing. All of this is piercing damage.
All of this is piercing. Oh, I see. Okay.
It's just like plus 4 because.
It
Yeah.
rolled an extra d6 for the critical damage, which rolled a 4.
Oh, yeah, but we
First
don't...
D6, the first d6 was a 5, and it added plus 4, which is your attack damage bonus.
Okay,
so
but yeah,
it's right, yeah. So 13.
Gotcha.
The criticals, no, because we do... No, but I don't do criticals that way. The critical is max damage, so...
Gotcha.
It's
Okay.
So it's 1d6
So plus
plus
6.
4, so that's 10 damage
10.
total is what you
Gotcha.
should have taken.
Okay,
Which
cool.
is a big chunk, and so the wolf is like, Stone basically latches on to his body. Now, the wolf is actually large, so it's not subject to the... disadvantage like being overthrown. It can't be overborne by Stone. But Stone is kind of hanging on to him, sort of, as the wolf is trying to get him off. And so, River, it's your turn, and you do get this flanking bonus, of course.
Yes. I'm just noticing though. Was the wolf supposed to go first?
The wolf did go first.
He did.
The wolf
okay.
attacked and
Yeah.
missed. The
Oh,
wolf is
tried
not.
to
The wolf
attack
has not had a good couple combat turns.
Okay, good. All right, never mind. Great. Yes. So River goes in for coup de grace, hopefully with her axes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say
I
that
think
does
so.
it.
Probably. 1. Here's 2. So
Yep.
that's 10.
So you slash along its side, and it yelps and sort of drops to the ground and expires. And as you do that, and you just sort of drops to the ground and expires, you hear this sort of kind of call and a horn blowing, and the wolves here with their goblins on them turn and begin to sort of charge off the bridge. And the defenders that can see this, give a great cry. Everyone's sort of cheering and high-fiving. And then
the bridge on fire.
And the music stops. And then you hear a...
Oh no.
like the sound of this drum. And lumbering silently into view with the sound underneath of this rumbling is this enormous creature over 10 feet tall
Is that a
that
fucking cave troll?
rumbles, that walks towards the hill, and it is surrounded along with goblins and orcs behind it. In fact, there are a dozen at least of these goblin archers, and this creature charges down sort of faster and faster. It wears a menagerie of armor from what looks like various victims. It has this huge hammer, and as it gets to the bridge, it lifts its hammer, and you can see that you are looking at what is clearly a troll chief that must have come not from the mountains, but from Mordor itself. And that is where we are going to close our session for the day.
Is that why it can be out in the day?
It's a troll, not an orc.
Well,
No,
they were
but,
the
yeah,
crows,
but
right?
they turned to stone.
This is a troll chief. It's not the same thing. These ones are capable, and remember, also it's
They got a stone
that,
crows
and
over
also it's underneath the crows and the sort of circling crows. So remember, there is no sun at the moment. But beyond that, this thing is huge and enormous. And the creatures behind it, I should say, are yelping at it and pointing as it starts to make its way across the bridge, heading presumably for the gate. And that's where we're going to close this up. I had a feeling this is a multi-stage combat.
Yeah.
So I had a feeling that it was going to take us more than one session to do it. But you repelled the first wave.
Yay.
So, there's that. now you just have a massive troll team. So
It's cool. It's
Oh,
cool.
I'm just thinking
Cool.
of like that one scene in like the one of the first Lord of the Rings video games, like after the movies came out.
yep.
Oh god, like I think it's like the attack on Gondor, and then you had to like lure the trolls into the fire of the trebuchets or catapults or something to damage
Oh
them.
yeah,
Fire.
exactly. All we need.
Yeah.
I am
So,
very
when
it's
do we
just
get a
one.
catapult?
Aaron says it's just one. Yes, it's just one. All right. I know these.
I
Folks have
really
get
want to
going.
set that bridge on fire, guys. I am very excited to see it go up in flames. I want to do that, but
I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you fire.
So far so good. Goblins and wargs, and that was a good job by Inga as well to take down the goblin that was charging, that was climbing
yes.
up the wall up there too. That guy was like literally every strength check he was making. He was like, "I got this. I swim all the time." Like I was like, "All right." Anyway, I will start with, as always, with Amal, and then move upwards. Amal, it's wonderful to have you back with us again.
happy.
How'd you feel about? I know we didn't have a chance for a lot of singing in RP today. Today was more about the big fight. But how did you
hey,
feel about today?
I'm cool. I like I like both of those things. But yeah, no, this was delightful and scary, and there's a kind of like, I don't know, a sort of very specific experience of combat in this game for me, which is just like it's exhilarating and terrifying because every turn is at the mercy of the dice, and you know the thing that always freaks me out is like, yay, inspiration. Oh, on an inspired roll, I rolled 2 4s or something, you know? And so it's just entirely like to the chance gods and stuff, but it helps to have a character who just doesn't care and is just gonna keep on attacking regardless. So reminding myself of that is good even when the things get scary. But it was really delightful. I really liked I'm so glad we could sort out the coordination of like Stone and River at the portcullis, because it just felt like something that they would like, the logic of her being there would have been based on them doing a tag team thing. It's so much a part of how they operate.
Yes.
So I loved that, and then war killing with, you know, all our favorite allies, etc. Yeah, it was great. I'm terrified of this giant troll situation coming up. Scary time.
Just make it to scale. There we go.
Yeah.
Just
Oh
kidding.
no.
I'm just joking.
It doesn't fit on the bridge.
I'm
Hurrah,
just-
we win.
As if
Godzilla.
you took a troll and put it on the bridge. Trolls belong under bridges.
That's true.
true.
That's true.
That's
Well, that's why it
where the
feels like it
country
has a
goes.
right to this bridge, and you know. Also, again, I'm going to have to fix those numbers. These numbers are not accurate, so do not pay attention to the numbers. But anyway, yes.
Yeah.
But it was. I think you did a good job with that combat wise, and it was fun to see you working with Stone on these things. There's a lot of cool tactical aspects of this. I just want to say quickly with the portcullis and everything. So it was kind of neat seeing folks sort of set that up.
Yeah.
And actually, I have to say, although the wolf rolled terribly, the goblins were hitting a lot of rolls from their mounts. So I was like, wow, kind of evened out. Anyway, so where will the lovely folks see you before next month? And now, where will the lovely folks see you
Right.
next?
Oh god, next month, which is next week. Gah.
I know, it's crazy.
So you can find, I've been on Twitter hiatus for a long time, but I am off of it now. So you can find me on Twitter at Tithenai, Tithenai. A tiny bit of news that I didn't say before because I totally forgot, but is probably important. So I have this book called This Is How You Lose the Time War. And thank you. And to my shock and delight, it is a Goodreads Choice Awards finalist. So if you have a Goodreads account, if you've been on Goodreads at all, you can go vote for your favorites in a bunch of different categories. This Is How You Lose the Time War is in the best science fiction category. I'm really stunned to see it there because it is it's a novella, for one thing. There's been a big mix of different kinds of books in the Goodreads Choice Awards by category. So you've got short story collections in there like Ted Chiang's Exhalation. You've got another novella like The Deep by River Solomon. And then you've got like giant tomes like Neil Stephenson's The Fall, you know. So it's a totally mixed bag, but if you can just go and vote for your favorite books, that would be amazing. You can do that, I think, until December 2nd. So like this last week basically is the one in which you can vote for the finalists. And yeah, it would be it would be awesome to see Time War advance, but there's a lot of time. But yes, so Goodreads Choice Awards would be awesome if you want to check that out. I'll drop a link in the chat. You can also find me on Substack. That's like a sort of combination website newsletter situation. So amal.substack.com. I have some thoughts about Frozen 2 up there right now, as well as other things. And that's basically me. Yep. I'm not traveling anywhere until March. I am staying put. I am staying home. I am not going anywhere except to the grocery store stuff.
So you can meet her at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Directly. That's awesome. That's great. That means we have a good shot at getting a couple of full sessions next month too, which would be cool. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Mel. Always a pleasure. And look forward to seeing you next month. I would wish you happy Thanksgiving, but you Canadians already got it over with.
We got it over with.
American Thanksgiving is coming up soon, but not Canadian Thanksgiving. But thank you, Mel. Always a pleasure.
It's been so great to be with all of you guys, and I've got to run now, but I will leave this open. All right.
Bye. Okay, that moves us right up to Terry. Terry, great stuff as well from Inga. I was enjoying watching Inga sort of prepare for things, the dropping rocks, even though the rock didn't originally work, but, the other blows. And then basically where you just ripped the hell out of the wolf. Basically, that's how Inga does things. How'd you feel about today? Where will the lovely people see you next?
Oh, it was a lot of fun, obviously. The fights are always, so... exciting. That was the word I was looking for. I was like, what is the word? I can't English. But yes, it was very exciting. And I was like, okay, but when it's the whole army gotta arrive and everything is gonna be for naught and oof.
It's all right. You got through the scout team. You got through the the junior varsity. Now it's...
Yeah, that's what I expected. A bit too what's it called? Genre savvy for this, I'm afraid.
It's not even my final form. Next
yeah,
wave.
basically. Which is also why I happen to play Inge a lot more smarter than she is actually supposed to be. Just because I'm I play too I know too many stories and games like that. So yeah.
And where will the lovely people see you next?
Over here, as per usual. Don't have any conventions planned or anything.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know when the next stream is gonna be. It's always on a Tuesday, but I don't know if next week or the week after or whatever.
Yeah, I will actually talk to everybody about that, about when we can get that in. But if you don't see Terry doing that, there's a good chance you'll see her finishing up our Night of the Nazgul game book illustration.
Yes,
would be
for Tolkien Tuesdays.
Yep, that's right. Which we patented, and the Tolkien estate will not at all attack us for later, and ask for money for. But no,
they're really chill.
You'll definitely say that. Yeah, sure they are. They're very laid back. But no, that's awesome. Thank you, Terry. Always a great pleasure, and I can't wait to see that. And I will definitely be posting stuff about scheduling the next thing soon. Will, also a pleasure. It was funny. It's kind of an up and down day for Robar because obviously Robar had some misses, but he also had a couple of big, goblin takedowns, and some good moments. And obviously now they have a cave troll, not a cave troll, but a hill troll that they got to worry about. So how'd you feel about today, and where will the lovely people see you next?
Yeah, largely I feel good, and even though I did get a couple of hits, 3 arrows in my body, I'm basically at full HP now, thanks to
Mega Heal over there.
Mega Heal, yeah. So it was a good battle thus far, but it's only stage 1, and there's a river nearby, so you can never be too sure when you're playing.
The river rises up to meet me. No.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time. But I had a lot of fun today. It was great to be back with the whole team. It's been quite a while for me since I've been in session with the whole team, so that was a lot of fun. Looking forward to next month's games. I'm actually off to go and run a finale of a Call of Cthulhu show over on Encounter Roleplay right now, so I'm excited for that. They are all in a lot of trouble, but that's kind of how Call of Cthulhu goes, so it's going to be fun. But yeah, that's me. If you want to follow us, you can follow us at Encounter RP, or actually tonight at 8, I'm also on the Kobold Press Twitch channel, doing World Tree Birds, which is a 5e Midgard show. So if you want to come and join us over there, you can do. Follow Kobold Press on Twitch. But that's me. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Will, and always a pleasure. And yeah, make sure to check in the channel, by the way, because I'm going to be posting requests for next month. So please make sure to do that, okay? But thanks, Will. Much thanks, and good stuff today, and have a fun show. And last but certainly not least, Tren, good stuff as well. Tawny got some good healing in, and so that was important. But no, I mean, the heals were important. I mean, like...
I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying that I clicked improved healing.
Well, but listen, I mean, you also were part of the planning to try to set up this bridge defense. How'd you feel about today?
There's two guys swimming in the water. What happens if we throw fishing nets on them? It's like, yeah, okay, that'll work.
Yeah.
Send an innocent child over to the undefended docks to get the fishing nets and bring them back. Perfect plan.
Yes.
Nothing could go wrong. I have been Tawny Bear today. Something I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show is that I amazingly was not wearing my normal Tawny Bear shirt. I'm wearing this shirt that is very Firefly oriented, and I realized while I was in the shower this morning that I have never actually read the Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
Oh,
what?
Really?
I came back, by the way, because my meeting got canceled. Sorry.
Okay.
Nice.
But I've never actually read
Fire
it.
up the comment. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, because somebody had mentioned the operative in the Serenity movie mentions she is an albatross, and Mal says, the way I read it, albatross was a ship's good luck till some idiot killed it. And I was like, wait a minute, because somebody mentioned the Rime of the Ancient Mariner, and the two things struck me. One, I've never read it. I know that one stanza, and I always thought it was in Moby Dick. For some reason, I always attributed it to Moby Dick instead of that. And I never knew that it was rhyme, R-I-M-E. I thought it was rhyme, R-H-Y-M-E. And I'm like, wait, what? My entire world is crashing down.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And so that, destroyed my brain this morning, which is probably why, I was relegated to healing.
To make you feel better, Trent, I'll say that when I was growing up, I always used to think an active god was an active god. So it's always like, if there's a god that's active, and then I was like, no, act space of space. I'm like, oh. Anyway.
You need an active god for an act of god.
Right, exactly. Passive gods don't do acts, right?
But there is a Twitter account out there called Writing Explained, and sometimes they post like, here's the difference between this word and this word.
Yeah.
And the one that they did the other day was deep-seated versus deep-seated, and I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
Seriously?
The latest one is weary and wary. You have no idea how many times they get we are weary of this. I'm like, you're tired of it? No, you're afraid of it. That's W-A-R-Y. Wary.
Advice and advise. And I'm like, what's the difference?
Yeah,
one's
exactly.
a noun, one's a verb.
Exactly.
But anyway, the other thing I forgot to mention was on, actually, as it happens, Thanksgiving, 2 days from now, my next narration for the Escape Pod should be published. A short story called Into the Paddock, which has a lot of techno babble in it. Well, not a lot of, a little bit of techno babble.
Author, do you know?
I just forgot his name. Susnick.
Okay, I was just curious. Okay.
But it's a lot, like everything is copyrighted and trademarked.
Yeah.
So we were all like, how should we do this? I mean, because they like to give me stuff with techno babble in it because I can do it pretty well. And they're like, so we've got like bunnies, TM, and we want you to say that like we need a shitload of bunnies, TM. Or trademark or something like that. But I'm like, but I don't want to do it a bunch. Like, no, just do it like once or twice. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'll figure out how to make it work. So that should be publishing in 2 days.
Cool.
On Thanksgiving. So that'll be fun.
Good stuff. We will give thanks for that narration. Yes, and there may be another thing happening on Thanksgiving, but you'll have to stay tuned to the channel for that. I'm going to let these folks go. Again, just as a reminder to my players, please check the Discord channel in the next half hour or so, because I'm going to be posting some possibles for December. Do it! Because I want to make sure that we try to get stuff set up in advance if we can for December, because I'm sure people will have busy holidays, so I want to try to set up and make sure that we can keep the momentum of this lovely session today, because I want to make sure we save Zelda.
And our inspirations go away.
And inspirations, that's right. The inspirations will go away, but they will be reset for the viewers, of course, next month. So, but thank you so much to Trendane, to Will, to Terry, and to Amal. Wonderful stuff from all of you. So happy to be back with the full crew. And we will see you folks next month. Chat, can we get some love for our wonderful players? And thank you, folks. I will see you all soon. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you who celebrate it. And if not, just happy, nice week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
And that is going to do it for that. Oh my God, the number of hearts. That is going to do it for that. Good stuff, folks, today. And also I want to say good stuff as well from chat. The inspirations and things like that, people were definitely following along as we were going through this, and this was really enjoyable. Again, oftentimes the way these things work is that there will be sort of an alternating thing where you'll get more combat, and then you'll get more RP, and then you'll get more combat, et cetera, et cetera. So it was nice to see this crew kind of back together, and I cannot wait to see how they handle things with this troll and with other stuff with this kind of multi-stage combat that we've got. But they are in the middle of it, and I think, depending on how things work, they might be able to finish this or be close to finishing. Definitely, I think by the end of the second session anyway, they would be able to finish Crossings of the Seldoin, which would lead them to the last of Wilderland Adventures, which is called, well, something that I'm not going to say yet because I don't want to spoil it. But the finishing up this, they have to worry about first. And they managed to repel the first wave, but they got a lot of other stuff that they're working on, so they'll have to address that going on. But that is going to do it for me for today on this channel, but not overall. I'm going to be over at GOG with my Pen and Pixel show at 4 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to be about an hour, let's see, no more than that, 2 hours and 15 minutes, I believe. I will be over on GOG with Pen and Pixels, and we'll be starting a new game for me called Return of the Obra Dinn. This is a really cool game by the guy who made Papers, Please, and which was a game that I loved, so I'm really looking forward to giving this a shot. I've heard many good things about it, and so I'm going to be doing that. And then after that, I will be back on this channel on Friday with some Esper Genesis, and then Saturday, in all likelihood, with some Neverwinter Nights 2, Neverwinter Nights, not Neverwinter Nights 2, with some Neverwinter Nights Tyrants of the Moonsea as we move into the close of that adventure. So that's what we've got going on. It is, of course, Thanksgiving week here in the States, and so I may do a stream on Thanksgiving night, but I'm not sure. That's very much up in the air, so we will see how it happens. But if you stay tuned to my Twitter and to my channel and all that kind of good stuff, that would be definitely helpful. If you DM me one Echo clip, sure, as long as it's not any spoilery type of thing, that would be fine with me, Echo, sure. I'd be happy to check it out. But that is going to do it for me, and I want to thank everyone for having made this possible. I also want to remind everybody, a week from Friday, we have a big announcement happening on this channel, December 6th. We have a big announcement happening. It's relating to a project that I'm involved with, and that will have effects on this channel as well, but it's going to be happening on Friday evening, December 6th, so you will not want to miss that. And there may also be another bit of a discussion / adventure / thing happening, which I'll want to talk about as well. But again, that will be coming when we get a little bit closer to that. So that's what we're looking at as far as that is concerned. I hope you enjoyed what you saw and heard tonight, and if so, I hope you will follow the channel if you haven't done so already. I hope you will check out the YouTube and subscribe over there, !ArvTube. Twitter is !ArvTweets. Please subscribe to me there, and follow me over on Twitter. Please check out the Discord, !ArvCord, where we hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. And you can find out all of that at arvaneleron.com. On the financial side, the Patreon is !ArvTreon, and I'm really trying to get that moved up if we can, because it really does make a difference for the channel. PayPal has been drained pretty low as of late because of various video and channel related stuff, and so I would love to see that get back moving in the right direction. The shop is !ArvShop, where you can get material for both Infinity and Beyond, and also for Adventures of Middle-earth stuff with various illustrations illustrations and stuff like that, courtesy of Terry Toons. And last but certainly not least, of course, we'll be having some, hopefully soon, Esper Genesis stuff up there as well. And overall, last but not least, is of course that sub button. A few of you did that, of course, today, which is great. Please consider resubbing to the channel or subbing for the first time. Spread the word about that as well. That also helps the channel financially. You can get emotes for yourself. You can get sub badges for the channel, and all of that makes a difference. So all of that would be great. Otherwise, there will be more of this coming up next month, and you will get more role-playing type stuff coming up at the end of this week with Esper Genesis. So that's going to do it. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good, Echo. But I look forward to playing the game. It should be a good time. That's going to do it for me, though. Thanks, everyone. Much love. No raid today because we're going to be heading over to GOG in about now 2 hours and 14 minutes. But I'm going to go get some lunch and do a little bit of work and all that kind of good thing. So I will see you lovely people soon. I want to thank my wonderful mods, Aridinel and Coven Guy. As always, I want to thank my wonderful subs, Aridinel, Coven Guy, Echo Alpha, Nonstop, Wise Growth, Animus, Maelstrom, and Aranth. Thank you to all you lovely people. Thanks to all the Patreon supporters as well. Thank you to my viewers, Alfred Judicus, Aiton. Thank you to CKD. Thank you to Commander Root, ECAG, and Counter Roleplay, of course. Good stuff out of Will. Thank you to Jagtress. Thank you to Lurks. Thank you to Mubot, I guess. Thank you to Marinda. Thank you to Peng Tiki. Thank you to Second Obs. Thank you to Terry Toons. T-Bank. What's up, T-Bank? Thank you to Trendane, and of course you, Christensen. And going back to some of the players that I just mentioned, thank you to Trendane, to Will, thank you to Terry, thank you to Amal for their wonderful play today, and thank you, of course, to Cubicle 7 for sponsoring us on this channel and in this campaign, because that definitely makes a difference. That's it for me. I'll see you in a little over 2 hours over at GOG for Return of the Obra Dinn. Until then, everyone be good to each other, and I'll catch you all soon. Have a good one.